Good afternoon, great citizens of Pontiac. We will now call to order the 10th session for the 12th Council. Time is 6:13, and we will have Pastor Kathy Desereau to do our invocation.
I would like to defer my time to Reverend Douglas Jones.
Thank you, Pastor Desereau. Let us pray. Gracious and eternal God, our Father, we come glorifying and magnifying your name, thanking you for the blessings that you have bestowed upon our great city, the residents of our great city, the leaders of our great city, and praying, merciful God, that you would give our leaders wisdom, knowledge, compassion, that they may be able to govern our city, not only with understanding, but also with wisdom. We pray that you would guide their decisions, that you would strengthen their resolve to make Pontiac a better city, a better place for the residents, for the businesses, and for those who come and visit our fair city. We pray, merciful God in heaven, that you would give them strength, that you would give them courage, that they would be able to weather storms, that they would be able, merciful God in heaven, to speak forward and speak openly in decision-making that will lead our city to greater and higher heights. We pray also that you would bless the residents, each one, family members, those that are lonely, those that are homeless, those that feel that they have no hope, but that you, merciful God in heaven, would be their guide. For our Bible tells us that sometimes we may have to encourage ourselves, knowing that you are still with us. So be the source of our strength, be the source of our courage, as we glorify and magnify your name. We ask, merciful God in heaven, that you would grant this prayer in the precious, preeminent, and powerful name of our Lord Jesus, and we say, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Douglas Jones. We will now stand for a pledge of allegiance. We will now move on to moment of silence, where we honor our Pontiac residents who have fallen in the last coming weeks from our last council meeting. I will read off a few names here. Jenny B. Powell, Martha Lee Smith, Jerlyn Jewel Avery, Patty Ann Milner, Lola Marie Stovall, George, Grandpa George Harrington, Cornilla Pucci Johnson, Tommy Tom Thomas Williams, Anthony Craig Barr, Anita Momo T. Brown. I'm sorry, what was the last name? Barge. I apologize. Thank you, George Harrison. That was sent to me incorrect. But we will now do a moment of silence for those residents who have lost their lives in the last coming weeks. Thank you. Clerk Doyle, on the roll call of council members, please.
Austin.
Present.
Campbell.
Present.
Carrington.
Present.
Goodman.
Here.
Jackson.
Present.
James.
Here.
Jones.
Present.
Mr. President, you have quorum.
Thank you, Clerk Doyle. We'll now move on to amendments to and approval of the agenda. Need a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Jones, seconded by Councilman Jackson for approval of the agenda. Clerk Doyle on a roll call.
Mr. President.
Mr. Mayor.
I'm sorry, normally we don't have any flagged items for agenda change, but staff has just requested, just before this meeting, that the order of 3 and 4, if it's your pleasure, could be reversed. So that way 4 could be the new 3. So that way this council's determination on the community benefits agreement falls before whether or not to concur with the Oakland County Brownfield Redevelopment Authority decision. So we can consider them however you like, but that was just staff right before we walked in this meeting. They flagged that for me, that you may want to do 4 before 3. And I want to let you and the community know that thank you for your vote on adopting the budget amendment last time. It included upgrades to our cable recording and broadcasting for this meeting. We do have some technical issues right now, so that those that would usually follow along on Facebook or on YouTube, those currently are not accessible. But you can follow along on Comcast or on the city's website. So right now, our Facebook page links to the city's website, so that way they could watch. I just want to apologize for that, but thank you for approving that, so that way we can buy some new webcasters that just went dead this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Fully noted. We will take that item up. Thank you. I'll make the motion. A motion to move item 4 up to item 3.
Second?
All right. Thank you, Councilwoman James. It's been moved by the president, seconded by Councilwoman James. Clerk Doyle on the roll call, the amendment.
Campbell,
Yes.
Carrington,
Yes.
Goodman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Austin.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Thank you. We will now move on to roll call of the agenda as amended. Clerk Doyle on the roll call, please.
Austin,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Carrington,
Yes.
Goodman,
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Thank you, Clerk Doyle. We will now move on to approval of the consent agenda. Need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Well, Clerk Doyle, because I rarely ever do this, is this the moment that I would ask to pull something from the consent agenda? Or would I wait until the first and the second?
You can wait for this and then ask for something to be removed.
I second.
So moved by James.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Jones, seconded by Councilman Jackson. Discussion?
So I would like to pull item D, just to make a language change. So if we can add it in, make it the new number 10 and move the discussion down to number 11.
That works. You making a motion, brother?
Yeah. Did you get that, Clerk Doyle?
Pulling D, yep, from consent.
So yeah, we're pulling D from the consent agenda, moving it to be the new number 10, and then moving number 10 to be number 11. Well, because the consent agenda, it gets pulled no matter what.
And
Correct.
second, was there a second?
Does there need to be a second to pull from the consent agenda
You can pull an item, but,
to get it placed?
yeah, actually, it should have been done when we were doing amendments to the agenda. Yeah, if you want to, I thought you were just wanting it pulled from the consent agenda. But actually, if you wanted to amend the agenda, it should have been done during amendments to the
Well,
agenda.
the thing is, I want to pull it from the consent agenda so the item itself can have some wording fixed.
Yeah, should happen then, but you can pull it from the consent agenda, then you can, since we've already approved the agenda, suspend the rules and amend the agenda, so.
Well, the motion's already been made, so is there a second?
Nope, you asked for it to be pulled from the consent agenda.
Yes.
Right, okay. So now, what you can do.
Oh,
now we
I need to make a motion to have it placed where I mentioned it.
We need to suspend the rules.
Oh, thank you. I apologize. I have been fasting for Ramadan, and I have not eaten yet. So thank you for that.
So we need to suspend the rules.
Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Yeah,
So moved.
It's been moved by Councilman Goodman to suspend the rules, seconded by Councilwoman Jones. Any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk Doyle on the roll call to suspend the rules.
Jackson,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Austin,
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Carrington.
Yes.
Goodman.
Yes.
Okay, 7.
Okay,
Now-
so the rules have been suspended. We are going to remove item D from the consent agenda It will be placed as the new item 10, and update on Carriage Circle will be number 11.
So now you need so that's moved by Goodman, you need a second for that.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Goodman, seconded by Councilwoman Campbell to suspend the rules, remove, to now add item D to the agenda as the new number 10. Carriage Circle will go down to number 11. Clerk Doyle on the roll call so we can get this show on the road.
James,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Austin,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Carrington,
Yes.
Goodman,
Yes.
Jackson, sorry.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Thank you. Moving right along to approval of the consent agenda. A, February 17th, 2026, regular meeting minutes. B, resolution to enter into a long-term stormwater maintenance agreement with South Oakland Shelter DBA, Lighthouse, Michigan. C, resolution to renew the Microsoft 365 software license with Insight Public Sector for the period of April 2nd, 2026 through April 1st, 2027. It's been moved by Councilwoman Jones.
Yeah, it was moved by Jones and second by Jackson, so just need a roll call.
Roll call, Clerk Doyle.
Carrington,
Yes.
Goodman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Austin,
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Thank you. Moving right along to special presentations. Number 1, celebrating Pontiac resident Gladys Myers turning 100 years young. That deserves a hand clap. I will turn it over to Councilwoman Campbell, who Ms. Gladys Myers is a resident of her District 6. Councilwoman Campbell.
All right, thank you. So on the screen, we have Miss Gladys Myers, who turned 100 years old on March 1st. And so we have a statement or a statement that was written by her granddaughter. I'd like to read that before we read our resolution to celebrate her, okay? And it states, Miss Gladys Myers' life is a testimony of integrity, as a testimony that integrity still matters, prayer still works, and kindness still leaves a mark. Gladys' story reflects a generation that believes in commitment, community, honoring God, and not only with words, but with daily living. Reaching 100 years of age is a rare and powerful achievement. It represents a life of richness, a richly loved, shaped by sacrifice, perseverance, and unconditional love. Gladys' legacy continues through the generations she helped raise, inspire, and guide. As she celebrates this extraordinary centennial birthday, her family gives thanks to her life, her strength, and the lasting impact she has made. Gladys Myers stands as a living testimony to power, resilience, grace of a Black womanhood. Happy 100th birthday, Miss Gladys Myers. Your legacy lives on. So we want to celebrate her, and I also want to thank her daughter, who sent us some information about what I've just read, and also want to thank Ms. Flagner, who brought this to my attention. It was a community, someone out in the community reached out to me and said, we've got a citizen that is turning 100 years old, and we need to celebrate that. And so here we are celebrating her. She wasn't able to attend, but her daughter, Miss Deborah Myers, are you here? Woo-hoo. All right,
Wow.
Miss Myers. All right. So we do have the City of Pontiac resolution celebrating the 100th birthday of Miss Gladys Myers. Whereas the City Council proudly recognizing the extraordinary resident who lives embodied perseverance, service, and a profound commitment to our community. Whereas Gladys Myers celebrates her 100th birthday this year on March 1st, marking a century of wisdom, resilience, and remarkable life experiences that have shaped not only her family, but the fabric of our community. We also want to celebrate that she belongs to Mount Messiah Church. What is it?
No, Macedonia
Mas-
Missionary
I'm
Baptist Church.
sorry. Macedonian Missionary Baptist Church, where Pastor Terrence Godwin, she's been there for 50 years. So as we read what your granddaughter wrote, she does amplify that. So the other part is, whereas her dedication to her family, friends, community has left a lasting impact, creating a legacy that continues to inspire future generations. Whereas she has witnessed countless historical moments over the past century, demonstrating unwavering grace and courage through times of change, progress, and transformation. Whereas the City Council recognizes that reaching 100 years old of life is an extraordinary milestone that deserves a heartfelt celebration and community recognition. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the City of Pontiac honors Miss Gladys Myers on her 100th birthday, expressing profound appreciation for her contributions and wishes her continued joy, health, and love surrounded by family, friends, and a grateful community. Be it further resolved that this day, March 3rd, 2026, be recognized in her honor as a celebration of life, beautifully, and the legacy that will endure for generations. And this comes from all of the city council members today, and of course our deputy mayor and our mayor. So we want to give this plaque to you. Is she watching today? Is she watching this evening? Okay.
Come on, y'all, let's take a
All
picture
right.
for
We're
Miss
gonna
Black.
take a picture.
Could you be better in front of the picture?
We want to take a
Can you
picture
take me
with
in front of the picture?
Yep, we want to take a picture with
Yeah.
you, and then you can,
That would be beautiful. Are we all gonna go?
yeah, we all gonna take a picture for Miss Gladys. Yeah, everywhere for Miss Gladys.
Is that light okay? Reflecting this?
You got everybody in there? Everybody's in there. Oh, good work. Good work. Happy birthday, Miss Gladys. Mel, yes, you can go to the podium and say some words.
Oh, excuse me.
I didn't even have it on the floor. All right.
Well, my family would like to thank the mayor, the deputy mayor, the council president, and Councilwoman Campbell for acknowledging my mother, because she's been here since she was 17.
Wow.
And she couldn't be here today, but she appreciated all the flowers and all the acknowledgments of her, and just let you know she's blessed. And thank you so much for this. My family really appreciates this. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you. Have a blessed day. We will now move on to number 2 for a special presentation, celebrating boxer Kentrell Rouzer's championship success. Mr. Rouzer did text me today. He let me know that he is off to Ohio to do a pre-training where he would possibly be seen by some scouts and on his way to the Olympics coming up down the road. So I told him, don't worry about that, brother. You go secure your future. We will read the tribute for him aloud. City of Pontiac tribute honoring the pride of Pontiac Contrail Rouser. Whereas the City of Pontiac, Michigan has a long and storied history of producing resilient, hardworking, and world-class athletes who embody the Pontiac tough spirit. And whereas Contrail Rouser has distinguished himself as a premier talent in the sport of boxing, representing the City of Pontiac with unparalleled grit, discipline, and sportsmanship, both inside and outside of the ring. And whereas through years of tireless training, Contrail Rouser has achieved a remarkable record of being a two-time national boxing champion and has been invited to train at a Colorado Springs Olympic and Paralympic Training Center, proving that with dedication, a kid from Pontiac can conquer any stage. And whereas beyond the titles and trophies, Contrail Rouser serves as a beacon of hope and a mentor for the youth of our city, demonstrating that boxing is not just a sport of strength, but a craft of character, mental fortitude, and perseverance. And whereas the City Council and the citizens of Pontiac wish to recognize the sacrifices made and the glory brought to our community by this outstanding individual. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Pontiac City Council hereby recognize and honor Contrail Rouser for his extraordinary athletic achievement and unwavering commitment to the city of Pontiac. Be it further resolved that we extend our best wishes and continued success in all future matches, knowing that whatever Contrail Rouser steps into the ring, the heart of Pontiac beats with him. Congratulations, young man. Thank you all for that. We will now move on to public comment. President Pro Tem.
The first comment I'll read is a comment that was submitted by Mr. Charles Blackwell. Good evening. Councilman Chris Jackson is hosting a political event with State Senator Mallory McMurrow at the Pontiac Brewery on March the 5th at 5 p.m. Hopefully, Councilman Jackson doesn't get a DUI afterwards. We all know that Councilman Jackson is a party boy. Mr. Carlton Jones.
Good evening. I want to say I'm glad to be back. I have been working very diligently over these last couple months with a group of students that I'm very proud to say we graduated them this past Friday, and our Pontiac should be very proud because as we join into a relationship with WDI, which you guys should know now, puts on this program called Access for All. And Access for All was a program we brought here to the city of Pontiac thanks to State Representative Brenda Carter. She was very instrumental in bringing this organization. TDC has joined in hand with them. We've got a couple other partners, the UAW, we got the Labor's Union, we got Perry Street Empowerment. These are some of the ones who joined in with WDI. And let me just tell you a little bit, because I've been talking about workforce development. And everybody just automatically think about getting a job. But workforce development, as I'm going to tell you again, is about getting the education and the training you need to build a career. Big difference. You start talking about career building, you need to get the proper education, and you got to get the proper training to have access to it. So Access for All, you don't want to think about skilled trades, especially in construction, just for guys. We was fortunate to have 2 young ladies and 2 men with our first cohort, and they went through a 9-week program. 9 weeks. It started back in December, and we just finished, and they graduated. All 4 of them graduated this past Friday. And I'm thankful that a couple council people were able to come out and share with us, Councilwoman Campbell and our president, Adrian Austin, was there. So I just appreciate the support for those individuals who thought enough to be able to come out and support these Pontiac young folks. Now, I'm not saying young folks. We are now targeting those ones sometimes will fall into the adult category. And that's that target area of 25 to 35 or even older. And if you desire to, we want you to know that Access for All, our whole thing is about being prepared for the opportunity. So I just want to thank the people in Pontiac. We're going to start up another cohort probably in April or May, but we're doing evaluation for them now. And if you do have some interest, make sure you can make contact with me, or if you see any flyers here in City Hall about Power Up, Repower, that's the Access to All program. So thank you, Council. Thank you, City. We want to continue to do this, and we want your support. Thank you.
Ms. Renee Beckley.
Okay, we got family and friends plan, or you can call it self-enrichment. Let's start with this appointment, equal opportunity, I don't play favorites, appointment to the Community Benefit Advisory Committee. Whereas Council Adrian Austin at large appoints Cornelius Walker. It's my understanding I met Cornelius Walker and I met Adrian separate times. I believe Cornelius Walker is Adrian's uncle. So why are you appointing like somebody practically in your house or the board that you over? That's a conflict of interest, and that's nepotism, okay? Let's move on. There's something better than that I found. This is a business card for the city of Pontiac. Right here, it's recent because that's the current logo. This is from last week. This is from Jason Bauer's shop. Jason Bauer sits on the planning committee. So evidently, if you're going to be printing cards for the city of Pontiac, you have a contract for the city of Pontiac and you're getting paid. He's also a friend of Mike McGinnis. You cannot have both, be on one of the boards and be getting paid with a contract. You're doing work and getting paid and you voting on stuff. A lot of this is going on. Gina's buying lots. And I guess, I don't know, she's on council prior before she got on there, and they trying to tell me stuff. And I wasn't born yesterday nor last night. Anybody can see that. This is basically where we had the Pontiac. I mean, they're doing stuff, loophole, trying to get away, slide away. You don't know about it. You have to find it. Can't find what the check registers are. This is the honeymoon period. Everybody's getting little goodies and everybody's kissing, or what, you know what I mean, back in behind back there. And doing what they can do, you know, to get in the good favors of these people up here. And this doesn't make sense. This is conflict and nepotism. You can't hire your friends. You can't hire your relatives. You can't just say, I'm going to have solid votes, which might deal with the planning commission and mostly of this council. This is what's going, because you're going to get yes, 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 yes. We got in trouble last time with yes. You got to have some no. You got to have some, we got to think about this. We can't yes everything. We can't make this person is like loyalty, like what Trump's doing. You see how the country is. Pontiac is in the same way. I keep saying this is a poor city with limited resources. We can't be playing these payoff games. You wash my back, you wash my hands. I pour your bath water. Don't do this. Quit bringing your relatives up here. Keep bringing your pastor that's working downstairs in the basement. Don't live in Oakland County, live in Macomb County. Don't do this. Because, I mean, y'all looking bad up there.
Thank you, Ms. Beckley.
Ms. Beverly V. Thomas.
Good evening to the mayor, the council, and the citizens of Pontiac. Beverly V. Thomas. I am the founder and CEO of 2 as 1 Forever. We're a 501c3 nonprofit here in the city of Pontiac. And our mission is to help families to stay connected. And we will be hosting our 3rd annual marriage brunch fundraiser, a Golden Love Affair. It will be on Saturday, May the 21st at Silver Lake Church of the Nazarene, 520 West Walton. That is under the pastoralship of Reverend Dr. Belinda Robinson. It is $50 for a couple. It will be from 11 to 2. We will be offering free childcare for ages 2 through 11. The organization PAL will entertain the children of that age. So we want to do a little bit to help parents to overcome obstacles with babysitting issues for this event. We will have a few vendors. We are looking for a couple of more vendors. If you care to assist with sponsorship, we would be delighted to welcome to partner with you, as well as if you would like to maybe sponsor a couple to be there. Registration is going to close on March the 18th. You can register or reach me through my website, 2as1forever.org. I also have flyers with me. My contact number, area code 947-999-6949. And we would appreciate your support, Pontiac. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Pastor Kathy Desereau.
A couple of things tonight. Number one, the infrastructure work has already begun over at the high school, junior high school. On Madison, the corner, it's all dug up. They're putting in sewers and whatever, all infrastructure there. It's begun. It's going to happen. Contour Windows is moving right along, and as usual, immaculately clean. I don't know how they build so clean, but it's always amazing to me. The racing has begun on Perry. Soon as the roads get halfway decent, the trucks start racing at 1 o'clock in the morning. We hope that the sheriff is listening. I have a question as to the legality of something. It's been my experience now for about 8, 9, 10 years that we cannot access the apartment buildings or the condos down Walton Boulevard to get people registered to vote, to put material, flyers, etc., in their mail rooms. It's thrown in the wastebasket, no matter which building you go into. Is that or is that not against the Constitution of the United States? We have a right in this country to vote. We have a right to put things available to voters. We have a right to ask people to register to vote as American citizens, and yet we can't go into the buildings and let that happen? There's something wrong there, and I would really like somebody who is on that group if they're sitting in front of me to see what the legalities of that are, because I have knocked myself out for years now trying to get people in there and have brought them in only to have them ushered back out the door. That doesn't seem American to me. And then all week this week, this council's really been heavy on my heart. And you know, she's going to say, oh, she's a pastor, so she's going to bring up prayer. Yeah, I am. Because you guys are doing things that haven't been done for a while, if ever. That begins to make people upset that kind of like the status quo. And so I'm concerned for your safety. We have ICE activities going on in town. We have gang activities going on in town. We have all of the things that you already know are going on in town. I'm concerned for your safety. So I'm just saying to the public at large, pray for this group, because I think they're going to need it.
Thank you, Pastor Desereau.
Glennis Johnson.
Hello, board and mayor, district. Again, you're doing a great job. And I'm gonna keep saying it, because you are doing things that nobody else has ever did, and it's making Pontiac come together. And I just have a few things to share. I'm on the board of OSHA, and OSHA's board is 2 years long. So we just had, and I was on there for advisory for low-income families. We just had our election on February 19th, and I changed it up. So now I'm on the board for disabled people with health and nutrition, and I just wanted to share that. We know the things that happened in Carriage Circle. I've been servicing Carriage Circle for 6 years, and I like it because it's a lot of people in one place. That's a city within a city, theirself. So for Easter, I'm going to be the Easter Bunny on April the 2nd, because the 3rd is the 3rd, so we don't do nothing on the 3rd. But on the 2nd, I'm going to be the Easter Bunny and do Easter baskets. Me and my grandbabies make them, and if anybody would like to donate a basket, that would be nice. Thank you, that's all I have. And you're still doing a great job.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Dr. Deirdre Waterman.
I'm sure that would be a great treat for the kids to see you be the Easter Bunny coming out. We've just finished celebrating Black History Month, and there were a number of special occasions within the city, amongst the many things, I'm sure, commemorations during the month. But I'd just like to mention a couple of them. One was Judge Christopher Brown was at the library and he gave a wonderful presentation. He was talking about the corner, which is, those of you who know the history of Pontiac know about the corner. And he has such a fabulous memory and was able to tell a lot of juicy tidbits that you can't always print. But he knew all the details of it, remembered, and so that was amazing to see. And he said he wasn't going to be doing this oral histories much longer. As he said, maybe this will be my last time I want to do this orally. And people said, oh, no, please don't. I've heard the stories lots and lots, but there's always great to hear them again, and so that's really a treasure. I'd also like to commend Cynthia Rush, who was the principal of Pontiac Middle School. She also had her children doing a presentation about famous Black Pontiac people. And Val Gross is one of those, and each one of the children had a person that they depicted. And I was depicted by a young lady who also wanted to be, she told me, a politician, and if not an actress. So it's great to see how much pride that they instill in those young children. It's great to see. And so it was a wonderful occasion for that. So I just thought I'd just mention that. You mentioned Crystal Lake. I see that's on the agenda too. It'll be interesting to know because some interesting things going around and rumors going around. I'd like to, hopefully, as you're discussing that, you'll also talk about the status of that. That's really under the aegis of the Pontiac Housing Authority. For those who don't know the history, one of the things the emergency manager did was he separated the Pontiac Housing Authority from the city of Pontiac control and made them autonomous. So I understand, though, that when the Charter Revision Commission did put in some parameters, they said that they had, at least Tamika Ramsey came to council meeting once and said that they had brought it so that the Pontiac Housing Authority could come back under the control of the city once again. But then when I talked to Kermit Williams, who was also on the authority, he said he wasn't sure if that's still there. They may have taken it out when the governor went through that. So I'd like to know what the status of that is. That's important to know, and whether that's still under the aegis, autonomous, or whether it's under the aegis of the city, as well as the control of some of these incidents that are happening, and particularly as there are rumors circulating, people are sending around stuff about lawsuits and things like that. So I hope that'll be part of the discussion as you get to that part of the agenda. But Sunday is Happy International Women's Day. All right.
Thank you, Dr. Water. Mr. Chuck Johnson.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Earlier in the pre-meeting, I had spoke about the pictures on the wall and the Black history situation in the city of Pontiac. You know, I think that some of the things that I feel was important to celebrate was not celebrated because their photos was not on the wall. And I named a few in the earlier meeting. Now that there's more people in the room, I'm going to name them again. And I alluded to Leon Clark, Johnny Stinson, Otis Jones, Henry Hood, just to name a few of the pioneers that was in this city and helped to grow this city to where it is today. But a lot of us tend to forget, and I wanted to bring that forward. There's some more folk in the room that probably recognize some of those names. It might be relatives or whatever. But these were important individuals, and I think we should have seen their faces on the wall in our city hall, which they were not. I also failed to mention a guy named Chuck Johnson. He was a kind of a to-do guy around Pontiac, but you know, it is what it is. We're not looking for pats on the back, but we want the folk to know that we're here, and you know, we want to be recognized as well. Enough on that. I was looking at item D on the agenda. I'm not sure I understand just what is being alluded to here, but in short, let's not throw out the baby with the bathwater. I'm going to wait until I hear more comment on this, but remember, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater in this effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. The next two public comment are people from Quality Roots Partner. I can't even understand the names that are written. It starts with a C. I'm assuming his last name is Marty or Marty. No. How about our name? Next name is A. Start with an A and last letter is K. Yeah. Well, we get past. I can't read it. Mr. Marcus Bowman.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Come on down. Yes, yes. So, good evening to the council, good evening to the administration, and I'd like to say good evening to everybody in the audience. With a lot of rumors and things that go around in our city, one thing that you can notice true that we formed a coalition, and we formed a coalition of contractors from the clergy side to union side of business, workforce development, as well as project management side of the construction fields to bring forth more opportunities for our local contractors and our local business people to have first right of refusal, essentially, when it comes to city contracts. And we want this to lead and trickle into county contracts and eventually state contracts. Now, again, this is not us pandering or demanding or begging, because now everything has changed. Whether we want to accept it or not in this country, everything has changed. So this is a requirement that we are presenting to the council, as well as the administration and those watching at home, to support what this coalition actually represents on a wide spectrum of helping improve our community. Now, I challenge you all to answer this question truthfully. If you are foreseeing Pontiac move forward and show one Pontiac and show a community that supports its seniors with enhanced senior services, with enhanced contractor services, and the most important thing, when you talk about the lost tribe of our true patriots in this community, veteran services. Just raise your hand and show of a sign of support. Nobody? Nobody in here? Okay. So now we see where we at. We may have a lot of work to do, but the reality is we have to get this done with this new administration as well as this new council. So I stand here with these gentlemen as well as a whole list of contractors that's ready, willing, and able to get the work done. And we can have conversations to make sure that we have all the information that we need, the procurement process is set up, and that we know which direction we're going to have success stories. We're already in conversations with the Pontiac Housing to work on their 100-home development, talking to architects to structure some of the building tailored to our community and our contractors, so that way we can spread the wealth within our community to uplift our community. So with that being said, I yield the rest of my time to Pastor Jones. And as always, thank you. God bless you all, and God bless Pontiac.
Hey, Mr. Bowman, actually, Pastor Jones is next on the speaker list, so he can get 3 minutes.
All right, great, thank you very much. Can I pick the other minute that the other people left off, if that's possible? Listen, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Mayor, City Council members. I'll use Chuck Johnson, saving the people at home and all of that. Let me say good evening to you. I'm waiting on Carlton Jones to stand with us because he's part of this coalition, and I certainly don't want my cousin to be left out. But today we come to introduce and advise you of our combined joint effort of the Greater Pontiac Community Coalition, Roland Elam, who's here with us, Oakland County, Carlton Jones, TDC, the men of Pontiac, Marcus Bowman, Jermaine Branner, Ahmad Taylor, Pastor Thurman Cogdell, and all of the other contractors who may not be with us today, but have shown their interest in participating in the development of the city of Pontiac. There we go. Thank you, sir. All right. The Greater Pontiac area residential and commercial contractors, general contractors, are ready to share and participate in the city's development, construction, wealth, business opportunity, and employment opportunities that are available, will be, and must be available to all of us, from apprenticeships to full employment to contracts in our great city of Pontiac. As a side note, when the county wanted to build the Phoenix Center and all, they came to us, and we duplicated, triplicated the number of persons that would bid for those contracts. As a matter of fact, over 150 Pontiac residents, contractors, and businesses participated in the bidding process. We are here, and we're here for our local churches that may need restoration of buildings, landscaping, heating, furnace repair, painting, electrical work, ramps, steps, banisters, whatever they may need, we're here to help them. We are your guys and girls. One of them is at the council. And we want to be at the table for our city's needs, our churches and residents, because we believe for too long we have been left out. Today, we're ready to be part of the city's development and the 100 homes programs and the other developmental processes that's going on within the city. We want to set the pace for ourselves and our young adults who are following after us. We also ask and want and seek our city's support in employment and set-asides. So thank you as we join in partnership with the city, with Oakland County, with Thrive, with banks, and all financial institutions, with OCC and their training program, OU, its training program, Oakland 80, TDC for workforce development, and Michigan Works, and also the Promise Zone. What we're here today to say is put us to work, give us the opportunity. We have the skills, we have the ability, and we have the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pastor Jones.
Yes, sir.
B.T. Irvin.
Well, it's a pleasure and a privilege to be here. Council members and residents, good evening and thank you for your hospitality. On behalf of the Dream Centers of Michigan, we're excited to share that we're about to launch Jobs for Life, a workforce readiness program here in Pontiac. Jobs for Life is a structured job readiness and employability training program through which adults here in Pontiac will develop character and essential skills like how to look for a job, how to succeed at work through communication, conflict resolution, and problem solving. We hope Jobs for Life gives some of our neighbors here opportunities and tools to pursue meaningful employment and to succeed. All of us at the Dream Center are thankful to the city of Pontiac for investing ARPA funding in the residents whose lives will change for the better because of this workforce development program. We're pleased and privileged to be the city's partner in supporting residents who will become better, more hireable employees for local employers and stronger contributors to the Pontiac community. We look forward to our partnership with the City of Pontiac and the entire community to build a stronger economic future for us all. If you are an employer who wants access to a source of well-trained new employees, or you are a resident or know a resident who wants to build a new life story starting now, please come see me or our CEO, Antoine Jackson, tonight. It'll be our pleasure to answer your questions and help you make the next move. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Irvin. Ms. Beatrice Wright.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, Clerk Doyle. I wanted to stand here and, first of all, former Mayor Waterman took my thunder because I was going to talk about our illustrious emeritus Judge Christopher Brown, who is 87 years old and did a wonderful job talking about the history of Pontiac. If you want to know the history of Pontiac, you listen to Judge Brown. And as an aside, Mr. Johnson, I am going to put your name in as one of those individuals because I, too, know that you have a place on the public awareness of people who have contributed to Pontiac. So before I leave, I want you to smile for my camera. Okay, give me some time. He's doing it. Here we go. Here we go. There it is. The mayor knows how I send those in, and so we are remiss. And I asked you for a little bit of time back, just a little, okay? Okay, so there's another individual who I wanted to encourage. It's more personal. It's my big brother, James Lawrence Wright, who just completed his pilgrimage to Mecca. He practices the Muslim faith, and during the month of Ramadan, he chose to make his pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia. While my heart was definitely with him, my fears were there as well because my brother just made it home from that Mecca, but he thoroughly was spiritually enlightened, and I know that he's a better man for it. James Wright, my brother. I wanted to announce here that as a former high school counselor, parents need to encourage their high school seniors to complete the federal application for student aid, called FAFSA, free application for federal student aid. It has a deadline, but over the years, that deadline has been pushed back. It was in March, now it's all the way to June. But the money is given out on a first-come, first-served basis, and colleges have a succinct amount of money. And so you need to get your kids to do that federal application. And if they don't do it, you should do it because it hinges on your finances anyway. So, but it'll be the last time you can do it. So after that, when your youngster is in college, they have to complete that on their own. Also, I wanted to just say something for citizens who have contacted me that said they would like for your audiovisual technician to, from time to time, pan the audience. Because I don't know if they saw that 100-year-old woman or the fighter. I don't know if they saw that. But the purpose is they say they want to see who is supporting the city.
Thank you, Ms. Wright. That does
you.
conclude your time.
Ms. Darlene Clark.
Good afternoon, Council, Administration, Mayor, and Mr. Clerk, and the people who's listening. The city of Pontiac is vital to a lot of the people that decide to stay here in Pontiac. Pontiac has been existing for well over 200 years. We became a city in 1816, and we became a city because we had a Pontiac chief, Ottawa chief, who was the symbol for the city of Pontiac. And thereafter, in the 1930s, then Pontiac Motors came over, and people thought Pontiac Motors was the one who brought the city to life, when it really was not. It was just a participation to help it to grow. I say this for one reason on this. Multiple complaints about the signs welcome into the city that there's not a chief. That chief is very vital. It's vital as blood running through the veins of the city of Pontiac. Those signs that as the wheels are turning, they're not turning if you're leaving the chief out. For the 30% homeowners who lived here all their lives, they understand the importance of that chief. That's one of the subjects I want to speak of. The second subject I want to speak on is that you have businesses along Woodward, which in Wide Track, the old Wide Track. You have Auburn Road, you have Franklin Road. When the residents drive out the city of Pontiac, once they leave the city of Pontiac and cross over the Square Lake Road, including me, there's a little sadness that come across our face. And it come across, just not Franklin, it's also going down, not just Woodward, but Franklin as well. The sadness, concern is that we don't have the beautification that the other cities have during the holidays. You have great businesses all up and down Woodward. You have St. Joe Hospital, you have sign business, you have all this. You have the businesses who want to participate in the city of Pontiac, and you have a year in advance to even communicate with them, council administration, to get these people to help put reefs down there. So when the residents drive through Pontiac, they're not driving to a doomed city around the holidays. You have a year in advance per holiday to get this in focus. The last council people did not hear the people say this. They did not listen. But now that we have a new administration, a new mayor, hopefully with the deputy mayor as well, which is 4 new people on the seat, hopefully you can get through the ears of the 5 that was here at last administration to push forward in making city of Pontiac not a doom and gloom place. We are not the hangout place. We are not the people where the gangs come in here and want to fight. That's not who we are. We're not the type of people where we can't walk the streets and say hi to our neighbors anymore. That's not who we are. City Council, you have the opportunity to bring all your heads together because it lies in your hands to keep this city together. And doing that, bring that chief back.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. That concludes our public comment.
Thank you, President Pro Tem. We'll now move on to recognition of elected officials. I see Ms. Yvette Brinker in the crowd. Would you like to say a few words? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I had planned on saying something, but like someone said, Miss Beatrice said, you stole my thunder. But but I will say thank you to the public. Thank you to everyone from council and the mayor that came on Saturday to the Pontiac Public Library. It was beyond amazing. Listening to Judge Brown, you have to have that experience. If you haven't had it, please try to find a recording or maybe join us. We're working on trying to get him back one more time. This is his second time with us, but we would ask that you try to find that recording. The amount of history and love for this city that man has in his body is just astounding. So I thank everyone for showing up. We hope to see you next month. We are having a women's event on next month. Hopefully we'll see more people there. Come out and join us. We usually have a really good time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yvette Brinker. Mr. Carlton Jones, Library Trustee.
Thank you. I want to follow up on my fellow trustee, our vice chair. But I just, too, want to say that I was so proud to see us all come out, and I want to thank all the residents. And I also noticed that we had a couple people from council who actually were there. Councilman Jackson, he was there. I seen Councilman Carrington there, and I seen our mayor show up at the event. And we are really working hard to try to make everybody feel proud of our public library. If you don't know the real history of public libraries, I'm finding out more being a new trustee that it's a place that should be welcome to all. It should be a place where you can feel comfortable coming in, not just for kids, adults alike. And we're going to work real hard to make that be a place that all of us can be proud of. And one of the things you got to know, the reason why I was very interested in trying to be a part of the library is that I think it's a place for education, and we are very actively trying to see how we can move workforce development opportunities to the library. And not just alone, we want to welcome other people who want to try to be able to educate our community and an opportunity for them to advance themselves. So I just want to thank the city for being very patient with us as we make improvements. We know those who came in, there were some times when our restrooms were not usable. We've now got them completed thanks to a lot of people who was working real hard to do that. We got the upstairs ones completed, at least substantially complete. We still got a few little things to work on them. And we're going to continuously to try to make everybody in this city feel proud of our public library. So we want to thank you for working with us, being patient with us. As I learn more, I'm going to constantly try to represent this city. And I told everybody when I ran, I'm going to stand on 3 things: integrity, transparency, and accountability. And I want to invite all the other elected officials to join me, that we can be a city that stands for integrity, transparency, and accountability. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Oh, Tanisha Miller in the back, school board.
Mayor McGinnis, Deputy Mayor C, Council President Austin, City Council, citizen of Pontiac, good evening and hello. My name is Trustee Tanisha Miller. I'm a school board trustee for the City of Pontiac. Excuse my raspy voice. I've been ice fishing in the elements, so it's a little raspy. I just want to encourage everyone to come out to our school board meeting, which is next Monday at 6 o'clock p.m. at WHRC. I also want to encourage everyone to be involved with our school district, especially our students. We definitely need it. March is Reading Month. Please, if you have some availability and opportunity, please choose one of our schools and go and read to our children. It will be an amazing experience. Thank you, Council. Mayor McGinnis, Deputy C. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Seeing no other elected officials in the audience, we will now move on to agenda address. President Pro Tem.
Yes, thank you, President Austin. Dr. Deidre Water, item 10. Mr. Chuck Johnson, what item on the agenda? Ms. Beatrice Wright, consent agenda item D, which has been moved. Yeah, but it's tonight.
It's still a pertinent
Yes.
address that I have. I put down D because we have had so much negative news that has been perpetrated by this organization. They have proven themselves to be ill-prepared and barbarian. They have killed citizens of Minnesota who are upright, upstanding individuals, yet the administration has portrayed those individuals as terrorists and the like. We're being terrorized by ICE, and I commend our Attorney General as well as the city of Romulus, who came out on my birthday to put a halt to them being able to put a detention center in their city. We all should stand against ICE. They need to be totally reformed, shut down, and let's start again. Thank you.
Ms. Darlene Clark, what item?
Good afternoon. What I'm here to talk about now is the parks. Councilman James is over the parks. And the problems that's at hand that I don't know if it's taken seriously, but I'm making it public for all council to hear, and I'm making it public for all residents to hear. They want to put unisex bathrooms into the bathrooms in the park. I've asked her to reconsider. The decision is in her hand, it's not in my hand, but the request was put in. Having a unisex bathroom, once again, the same thing I told her. When you have a high level of AIDS, HIV, other diseases among the teenagers in the city of Pontiac, little kids do not need to follow behind the trace of using a bathroom that both sex can use. Our little children do not need to communicate on the playground, which they have all right to go into the restroom. Our little girls do not need to go behind little men, and vice versa. So I say to you publicly, I say to the Councilman James public, with all due respect, please reconsider the unisex bathrooms.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. That concludes our agenda address. President Austin.
Thank you, President Pro Tem. We will now move on to the agenda. Number 3, resolution to approve community benefits agreement for 28 North Saginaw redevelopment. Need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Jones, seconded by Councilman Jackson. This particular item now before us is the community benefits agreement with 28 North Saginaw. They were before us a couple of weeks ago for a waiver, and we were discussing different items, so they're back before us with their community benefit agreement. We'll now turn it over to Mayor McGinnis for more context.
Thank you to this honorable council. So this is something that you've been acquainted with. Manager Younger here is that can give us the perspective, but for those that haven't been following along, this is the tallest building in downtown, 28 North Saginaw Street, originally the People's State Bank building, and when that went bust in the Great Depression, Pontiac State Bank building. So for many generations, Pontiac families have known it as a commercial building. That's how it was built. And a beautiful, beautiful structure, a lot of historical detail, but it has been very underutilized for decades and mostly vacant in recent years. The private property, the developers, their team has been pursuing and successfully undertaking a residential conversion, 114 apartments in the heart of our downtown. And as a result of that building, they've come before this and previous city councils for the different elements as part of the overall project. And we give the floor to Manager Younger for further perspective.
Sorry.
Does Dr. Waterman have everything she needs?
She needs her gloves. I was trying to find them for her.
We're looking for some gloves.
I'm sure it's for the whole meeting. But I don't see them. Is this yours? That's all right. Fine. Thank you.
Okay.
If I find them, I'll find you. Okay.
All right. So Manager Younger, you have the floor to give a little bit more of where we're at with these final items. As City Council knows, we're waiting for Oakland County Brownfield Redevelopment Authority to make some determinations and the finalization of the community benefits modified agreement. Manager Younger, you have the floor to give us the latest.
Thank you, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, President, and rest of City Council. As the Mayor has indicated, 28 North Saginaw is a big investment for the city. They're seeking Brownfield TIF. And as part of seeking any public investment, they must, in fact, adhere to the recently passed Community Benefit Agreement Ordinance. Before you have a Community Benefit Agreement that has responded to the request for waivers, the waivers that are requested are from the construction jobs, because the project is pretty much almost completed construction, and the goods and services, and the holding of public hearings in as much as the project is underway. The agreement before you does in fact uphold the other tenets of the Community Benefit Agreement, which are permanent jobs, affordable housing, and the payment of a one-time payment, a payment to the Obtainable Housing Fund in the amount of 0.05% of the total project cost. We are recommending, because looking at cash flow of the project, the project cannot support a one-time payment. What we are recommending is that council accept a 5-year amortization of the final amount. I cannot give you the absolute final amount because all the construction costs are not completed, but at whatever that percentage is, I'm recommending that it be paid monthly installments, non-interest bearing, and over a 5-year period. I believe that's what the project can sustain based on the cash flow projections. So we would anticipate them beginning to make the first payment January of 27 and be completed no later than December 31st of 2031. So before you have the community benefit agreement that we believe meets the requirements that council intended and also allows this project to go forward.
And the applicant is here this evening. Should
Correct.
council wish to give him an opportunity to make his case?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Younger. President Pro Tem.
Yes, thank you, President Austin. Just one question for Ms. Younger. So what is the estimate? Do you have an estimate?
Between 10 and $14 million can vary. So that would be $55,000 to $75,000 in a cash payment.
All right, thank you.
And we will note that this will be the first such payment, first such direct impact from the community benefits agreement. It was identified that this is, very much midstream for this particular project, but it does launch for this city council and our community this attainable housing fund. That as further investments and revenues be generated, that we can have a positive impact and move the needle when it comes to attainable and affordable housing in a variety of different ways. So it's very much new. But that's a very promising new resource that has not previously been on the landscape for us as a city.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilwoman Campbell.
Thank you. I have a question because as we look at our community benefit ordinance, there's different tiers, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. If we go 10 million or less, then this ordinance is going to change based upon what we need. So
Agreed.
To Councilman Carrington's point, when will we know what, I guess, until the project is done?
When we get final construction numbers in. And you're correct, there are tiers. I'm currently looking at this as the top tier. I believe it'll go a little bit above 10 million. So, and so we'd be the top tier and the requirements of the top tier.
Okay, and then the other question that I have is that, let me see, we just switched to orders. We're on the resolution to approve the community benefit, right?
Correct.
And so is there any way, can we tie this community benefit ordinance to the TIF dollars? I know there's a clawback provision in the contract.
Correct.
But in the actual ordinance, in the resolution, can we put something in there? And this resolution, let me make sure I get it right. Approval of the Brownfield plan and any other reimbursement thereof is contingent upon the evaluation and the compliance of the community benefit ordinance. So if we're going on a payment plan, we got a clawback provision in there.
Correct.
What happens if the payment is not compliant? I know we can call it back, but what are the penalties if it's late or if it's not within the time frame? What do we?
We have the
recourse do we
clawback
have?
provision. We worked with Oakland County Brownfield Authority because this is new, to include this, and we do have actually a representative of the Brownfield Authority here, but it's here for another matter, but nonetheless, it is in fact here. Two things, we're going to record the actual agreement so that it ties to the property, so that if in fact the developer were to sell the property, the agreement goes with the property, not the developer. So the clawback, if they do not meet the community benefit agreement, we could in fact call back on the Brownfield if that was the action we desired. And that's how it's written.
So you can find that in section 9, default and remedies in the community benefits agreement. So 9.1 identifies how a material breach occurs. And then 9.2 speaks about the opportunity for the property owner to cure. 9.3 spells out, should they not cure the default, that there's options here that the city can exercise: mandatory clawback, suspension, modification, or revocation of any tax abatement, exemption, payment in lieu of taxes arrangement, etc. C, imposition of civil fines and penalties or other sanctions. D, liquid damages. E, withholding, delaying, suspending, or denying city permits and more. And it goes on. There's a lot. So there's a lot of built-in agreement there. Both parties are saying we are committed to it, and there's substantial hurt if it doesn't happen.
Right, so now the community's informed. Thank you, Mayor and Director Younger.
Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Thank you, Ms. Younger, for, Councilwoman James. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I just have one question, and that is, has it been reviewed by our city attorney?
Yes.
It has?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
My last thought, I was just saying, I want to thank you for coming back with a agreement that satisfies the ordinance. I want to thank the 28 North investors and developers for actually hearing us with the last conversation and you taking that back to them. So thank you. This does look like an agreement we can work with. So hearing any other discussion, any other questions, Clerk Doyle on the roll call of adoption of the resolution, please.
Jones.
Yes.
Austin.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Carrington.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
6 yeas, no nays.
Thank you. That resolution passes. Congratulations. We will now move on to item number 4, which is resolution to approve concurrence with Oakland County Brownfield Redevelopment Authority on Brownfield request for 28 North Saginaw redevelopment.
So moved.
Second.
That's been moved by Councilwoman Jones, seconded by Councilman Jackson. I will turn this one over to the mayor for more context.
Thank you. Brownfield tax credits are a tool in our economic toolbox, but in the last 15 years or so, the city of Pontiac has not had a direct tool in our own toolbox. We utilize the Oakland County Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. Another casualty of emergency management ghosts past. We had a Pontiac Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. We are researching ways that we may want to pursue that in the future, but in the meantime, we still want that tool available to us in the toolbox. So how it works is that the city council authorized even approaching with a particular proposal, allowing it to go to the Oakland County Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. That has since happened. That went to the authority. They've voted. They have made their determination. And now it's up to city council to say, do you concur or agree with their determination? So this is a substantial step. I'm grateful that you did the agreement first, so that way it would have rendered it a little moot if you said nay on that, because it's very directly relevant for this question here. So we look forward to working with City Council in the future about how we look at the viability of direct control of our own Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. If and when that does happen in future years, then this additional step wouldn't be necessary. It would be a direct determination from our redevelopment authority and then the City Council ratifying it. Manager Younger, any further context? And then I think it would be cool to hear from Mr. Hanna so he can share with the community and council the excitement and the concluding work that's moving very quickly. Microphone, my dear.
Just brief update. So the Brownfield Authority approved the Brownfield plan. We're asking you to concur. Then it finally must go to the county commissioners for ultimate approval. So just so that you know the process. And then during that period, council can comment, or any citizen can comment. The final step in approval will be the county Board of Commissioners, which would happen probably next month. So just so that everyone's aware of what the process is. And that's all I have, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Hanna, the developer.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. I want to thank Director Deborah Younger. She's been a phenomenal advocate for this project. I think it's a vital project for downtown. Same with Mr. Mayor, and of course with both this and the previous City Council. So I just want to thank you very much on behalf of all of my partners, the developers. This project is vital for the City of Pontiac. It's been very important for us in-house as a project. It's been my whole life for the last 3 or 4 years. And it has not been without its challenges, but we're very excited. We're very much in the home stretch. I invite anybody to come and see the project. We have an open door policy. If anybody just stops in and wants a tour, we're happy to give that tour. We are in the process right now of, hopefully in the next few days to maybe a week or two, getting our C of O, or temporary C of O. We're just trying to wrap it up and get it activated, and I think it's going to be a huge shot in the arm for all of downtown. And of course, as goes downtowns, generally the city, follows through with that. So we're excited to be a part of that process. And I'm happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Councilwoman Campbell?
I just have a question for Director Younger. On the resolution concurring, it has here that 60% of the residential units are affordable. We know that 20% of them needs to be 80% or is it less?
20%, 20% of the units must be at 80% AMI or less.
Okay. And so in the resolution for 4, it's in the contract for 4, it states that.
Correct.
But on this form, it doesn't. Does that make a difference?
No, because I'm sorry, ask me again so I can make sure I understood what your question was.
You looking at the resolution?
I'm looking at the resolution to approve the Brownfield. In the body of the context here, it has, the 10 million to 14 million with 60% of residential units, affordable residents, but it doesn't specify the 20% that needs to be 80% or less.
And that is actually in the community benefit agreement.
Right, I saw that in there. Okay.
Right, so we're covered there.
Okay, perfect.
And they'll more than satisfy our 20% because the affordability of the missing middle funds, 60% of those units will meet that. Most of them will fall at around the 80% anyway because of the rent structure in Pontiac.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Any other discussion? This is a pretty straightforward agenda item. Been into the location of 28 North. It is a very beautiful location. We look forward to the revitalization, and thank you again. So Clerk Doyle, hearing no other discussion or questions, we will take a roll call on the resolution, please.
Austin,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Carrington,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
6 yeas, no nays.
Thank you, Clerk Doyle. That resolution passes. Congratulations. We will now move on to item 5. Resolution to approve plan to move BSA software to the cloud. I don't know if we have Deputy Mayor or IT Director up there to give us some context.
I saw the Deputy Mayor leave.
Okay. All right, I need a motion and a second to take up this item.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Jones, seconded by Councilwoman Campbell. I will turn it over to the mayor.
I turn it over to Renaissance Man, Deputy Mayor, and IT Director C.
Honorable Council, it's my pleasure to present an upgrade to the software package. Currently, it's housed in our network here at the City of Pontiac. What we are proposing today is to put this in the cloud where our employees can work more versatile in using the software. Currently, the City of Pontiac has utilized BS&A as its enterprise resource planning software since 2011 to manage all financial, building, safety, planning, and code enforcement activities. What we plan to do with this software is, again, put this into the cloud. For those of us who've had to work on the budget for budget presentations, you had to be connected to the building's local area network in order to utilize the software. Now, as long as you have internet access, you will be able to log right into the software. This project is going to be in 3 phases, what they call a project management and implementation planning phase. They're going to come in and do training of the users of the software, and they will use a cadence of a system development lifecycle in their project plan. The second phase will be implementation, where they actually come in and build the software into our network. And then after testing it in a test environment, we will go live, and they will post go live assistance working with our department.
The cost for that, the project management implementation planning phase is $37,405. That is already budgeted in the fiscal year 25-26. The cloud upgrade annual fee is $149,185. They will manage the software for us. They will back up the data every 5 minutes, which gives you redundancy. And should there be a need for disaster recovery, we could just take the equipment and just move it to another location with internet access, and we could remote back into it. The final cost would be that of training. All the employees will be trained in IT, would be information technology, would be trained on how to manage the system. That cost is $75,525. The last two costs are budgeted as a part of the fiscal year 26-27. I'll entertain any questions.
Thank you, IT Director.
Just the IT Director.
Any questions, any discussion? Councilwoman James.
Could you go over one more time just what the benefits of going from where we are now to the cloud? And then secondly, we had a problem at one point where BSNA, I guess the question is, are all our systems, the finance system and the procurement systems, are they all tied into the BSNA system now? Is there anything that's like still being used, that's still being done manually? Like payroll?
I sure hope it's not payroll. We used to do it manually, so I hope not.
Yeah, well.
The benefits, just real quickly, is they're going to back up your data.
Okay.
Every 5 minutes.
Okay.
So that means you don't have it real time, but it's the closest thing you can probably have to real time. Okay. So if anything happens to that data, the most amount of data you could lose is 5 minutes. Right now, because it's local, you could possibly lose more. This helps you with your disaster recovery plan in case anything happens. Code enforcement uses this. Finance uses this. I think purchasing uses this. That Clemens system that we're getting ready to put in the cars for code enforcement ties into this. Also, the sheriff department uses. I know they're not with us, but they use it as well.
So there are many different functions that this would allow for modernization, upgrade, and really we want to be able to ride the wave of future upgrades and enhancements. When we're tied to sort of the physical structure, we're limited. But by trying to make it so that we're viable, and the IT director and deputy mayor knows more on the hands-on perspective, but what we want to make sure is that the city of Pontiac can keep enhancing and refining all of our different operations that are using BSNA. So we have Director McIntyre. He has shared with a lot of subcommittees how substantially BSNA works with their operations. And there is some clunkiness with it that's not unique to Pontiac. There are hundreds of different municipalities that use BSNA. It's a strong, reliable, and consistent software. A lot of municipalities in Oakland County and Michigan use it. But for us to not have the outdated version, we want to make sure that we can keep getting upgraded and updated in a way that is more effective and gives us a better work product for now and future years. We don't want to be left behind.
Okay. And it gives your employees the opportunity to be more versatile. They don't have to physically be connected to the City Hall network.
Okay. What I'm wondering about is we're going to cloud. Is that a managed? Is this something we're doing, or is this something that we are paying now to go to a managed system will be in the cloud that not our IT people, but their IT people would be managing that process?
It will be a combination of both. It will be in their cloud.
Okay.
Our employees will actually be doing the management of the day-to-day tasks, and they will be doing the backup. So they will have access to our data, but it will be how do I say, I'm trying to make it where it doesn't sound too technical, where it's going to be scrambled so they can't actually see the data, but it's our data.
Okay.
And
So
right now-
basically, they're just gonna be doing the backup for it.
They'll be hosting the data.
Okay.
The data will be on the cloud network that they manage, and we will still be able to do everything. It'll be transparent to you, where you won't even notice this is in the cloud, other than you can work from home or in the car or wherever, at
So that-
lunch.
And will that also include the updates to
Yes, ma'am.
BSNA?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And training.
Any other thoughts, Councilwoman James?
No, that's it.
President Pro Tem?
Just one quick question, IT Director.
Thank you, sir.
Concerning the annual fee, this is just for the fiscal year 2026, 2027. So how long does this contract? You'll be coming back to the city council every year, I'm assuming, or is this going to be extended?
Well, that is pretty much up to you. We're gonna put it in our budget every year because it's gonna make us that more efficient.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
not,
question
it's
I'm
not a
asking.
one-term deal with, you've had the old version for 15 years. So it's time to move into the new millennium.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Campbell?
IT Director, C.
Yes, ma'am.
What about breaches? Will it be a high risk of the system being breached?
I think we'll be better protected because you have two management teams now, BSNA and your current IT environment. Right now, I would just tell you that we always are preparing for disaster recovery. But you know that, I don't care what plan you got until you actually have to be in it. You know, this will enhance what we're trying to do. And it will definitely make me worry less.
Thank you. Councilman Goodman?
Yeah, so to try and help everyone along, because this is tech stuff and it's way up there sometimes. I know many of you have been in these council chambers for the past few years, and you probably remember when we as a city moved from Microsoft Office to Microsoft 365. And that whole process of moving, because we were on a very old, outdated version of Microsoft Office that the entire city was using, but it wasn't actually usable. Very similar situation. We are moving from the old version that we, probably have a floppy disk or a CD drive, a disk drive somewhere, to be able to load BSNA, and we're moving it to the cloud, which I know is like some concept that we don't really get into. But I do think I want to hit on something that Councilwoman Campbell said, because I'm assuming that BSNA as it is right now is stored locally.
That's correct.
And so, again, to his point, if we were to lose that, it's a really big issue in terms of redundancy. With it being on the cloud, let's say that we don't have access to it, there is still a backup version of it somewhere on their servers. And when it comes to security, again, when it comes to breaches, sure, having BSNA only on the site of this space is good for some level of security. But if someone hacks into our system, then that's as much as we can do, as much as our IT can do. When you have it on the cloud with BSNA, with their software, not only is our IT doing security, but BSNA's doing security as well on their end to protect their part of the cloud where our stuff is being stored. So there's kind of two levels of law enforcement, so to speak, between our IT department and BSNA. So it's really important for the purposes of modernizing, redundancy, and added security. I hope that to the people in the audience, I'm looking at Pastor Desro the most, hopefully that kind of caught us all to where I think we should be.
And you did an excellent job. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Goodman. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, through the chair. So is it, because I can see the necessity, of course, is it safe to assume that you're bringing this before us, I guess, in the sense of urgency to be more proactive versus reactive? Is that safe to say? Like, the goal is to be more proactive to avoid?
Proactive is the correct word. I won't say urgency, but I will definitely say proactive.
Okay.
Yes.
Quick follow-up then. So was this going to be a part of what your eventual budget ask is? And that's why I mentioned urgency, right? Because I'm curious to know why this had to come before us today,
Well,
opposed to when budget is right around the corner.
right, well, the budget takes effect July 1st. The training and project implementation in that recommendation will start on the 1st of July. We have, we pretty much have, I would say 70 to 80% of the money already budgeted in fiscal year 25, 26. So, financially, I think we've been responsible as it relates to BSNA.
It will not require a budget amendment. This authorizes us to engage with BSNA, get ready, implement, train, but so that way the budget proposal that this council will receive will reflect us moving forward in this direction. But it will not require a budget amendment. The director has incorporated into the existing budget framework.
Question for you, IT Director C, implementation timing?
That's a good question. I think that the way it's scheduled out, I think it's really up to us, but I think that it could be done in a couple months. I need to get back to you on that one. Oh, there's a schedule on page 2 of this documentation, and it basically says, basically 2 months, 47 days.
2 months, okay. So, like here, training. And I know you said July 1st. So let's say someone is out for 2 weeks on vacation. Will the company then shift? Because I know we've got the days set up.
Right.
So will there be a shift, or can we?
Well, when I throw out July 1st, we can start July 8th. But understand, once you get trained, we can use our in-house people to train other people. Yeah, we're going to train the trainer.
Thank you for that. Any other questions? Any other discussion? All right, hearing none. Clerk Doyle on the roll call for the resolution, please.
Campbell,
Yes.
Carrington,
Yes.
Goodman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
James, Jones,
Yes.
Austin.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Thank you. We are off to the modern days. That resolution passes. Next item is number 5. Resolution, nope, sorry about that. That's 6. My apologies. Parks and Recreation. Resolution to approve memorandum of understanding with the school district of the city of Pontiac for Frost School. I need a motion and a second.
Moved by Carrington.
Support.
It's been moved by President Pro Tem Carrington, supported by Councilman Goodman. This particular item is a need in the city. We obviously need more places for our youth to congregate. This does not particularly lock us into a contract, but this just starts the conversation of more spaces for our youth and having more youth spaces around the city. So I will turn it over to the mayor to add more context for the item.
Thank you to the Honorable Council. Grateful for us to be able to consider this matter further, and we're grateful to the school district of the city of Pontiac, commonly known as the Pontiac School District. We had Trustee Miller here this evening and want to salute her. Her and her colleagues adopted this memorandum of understanding at their last school board meeting. And really what it does is it takes us from just talking or just thinking about some ideas to the next level of we are very serious and intentional about an idea I'm excited to share about with the community. But this, as the memorandum of understanding and the resolution reflects, just allows the conversation to go forward in a little more formal way. The city council and the school board would each respectively have to adopt an actual shared use agreement or lease agreement or some combination that's agreeable to both parties. But great people of Pontiac, here's the idea, here's the concept, that we have a school on the east side of Pontiac on Cottage Street, commonly known as Robert Frost Elementary School. For a long time, it's been home to Peace Academy, the school district's preschool. They have moved their preschool next door to WHRC, and that school building does not currently have active school use. It's still maintained, the school district still owns it, it's still secure and heated, et cetera, but it doesn't have a full building use. So we have been engaged with conversations and discussions about the opportunity for the city of Pontiac to utilize that space for the short term, be it for a year or 2 years, whatever is agreeable to the school district, who still owns the property, and it's ultimately their decision, with the city, where we can have it be a home for our parks and recreation staff, but also a home base for our youth recreation activities. Before we have our full and new state-of-the-art facility at Glenwood and Montcalm with the Recreation Center, that this can be a bridge so that we can expand the offering, serve that surrounding community, but the whole city for these short-term community hub to be a recreation space. So we're hopeful that the conversation can continue further. This, should it be adopted tonight, and I encourage council, I'd be honored, hopefully you'll vote yes. It allows us to send a formal signal to the school district, yeah, we're serious, we're really interested in this, and we can take the conversations and the details to the next level. And again, it would come before this body before there's any final determination. And I'm eager to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilwoman Jones.
More like a statement. There's been a lot of conversation or requests for the city to explore more partnerships with the school district in one capacity or another. And as luck would have it, this is, in my opinion, this is, a great opportunity. The building has been kept up, maintenance has been sustained, and, it's in good condition for our temporary usage while our youth rec center is still being constructed. So I just wanted to state that, thank you for exploring this opportunity to the administration, and I'm happy to see this before us now.
Completed thought?
Yeah, I know I hesitated at the end, but no, yes, completed thought.
Okay, thank you, Councilwoman Jones. Any other discussion, statements? Councilwoman James?
I'll just like to say that we have, I think most of us have had the opportunity to go through the building there and seen the possibilities, and I do think that it makes sense for us to try to get a building, a place where our kids can just come. I mean, we've got activities and youth recreation activities all over the city, classes, but sometimes, especially during the summer months, kids need a place where they can just go and hang out, where it's not necessarily a program going on, but just somewhere they can meet their friends and talk and laugh. So this opens that opportunity for the city of Pontiac. So the kids will have a place in the city that they can go, that they can just spend time in and hang out. So I'm looking forward to see this, definitely approving it tonight so that the administration can move forward with the plan, and hopefully we can actually make it happen, because I think it's a great opportunity. While our building is being built, it's a great opportunity to keep our youth engaged.
Thank you, Councilwoman James. Any other discussions, statements, questions on the item?
Let me make a statement.
Councilwoman Campbell.
So I agree with what Councilwoman James is saying, and it is in District 6, Greater Community Connect. So for those of you that don't know, it is in District 6.
District 6. All right, any other discussion, statements, questions?
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, administration, for taking the time to bring this item forward. Obviously, to echo everyone, we do need more spaces for our youth to convene. So until our fabulous new youth center is all built up, we thank you for taking up this option here. So hearing no other discussion or questions or statements, Clerk Doyle on the roll call for the resolution, please.
Carrington,
Yes.
Goodman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Austin, Campbell.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Thank you, Clerk Doyle. That resolution passes. We are now moving on to item 7, resolution authorizing revised contract amount with WCI Contractors for Galloway Lake Park Improvements Project as a correction to City Council approval at the February 17th, 2026 council meeting. Need a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Jones, seconded by Councilwoman James. This particular item looks like we're just correcting some contract language. This item was before us a couple of weeks ago, and it looks like some T's didn't get crossed and I's dotted. No big deal. We're now here to make those corrections. Mayor McGinnis?
Thank you, and thank you again, Council, on your vote you just took. I'm grateful to the school district, the school board, and now the City Council for your spirit of collaboration. This item, on February 17th, the City Council approved it, and my understanding, the contract was solid, the contract was correct, but we want to make sure that the resolution and some of the language, that the numbers lined up. So we're bringing it to you to correct. One of the council members during that meeting was asking a figures question. You were right to ask it, and staff apologizes for their clerical error. They also caught it and now wanted to bring it back to you so that way the record was corrected and stood solid and tight.
Thank you, Mayor. Give everyone a moment to look over the information. I know everyone has looked it over, but we'll just take a second.
And this is that grant funding from the Michigan Department of Natural Resources, the Spark grant for Galloway Lake Park. It's going to allow us to do, in addition to what the original grant, we could do additional resurfacing and other park improvements. And it allows us to make sure that we maximize the grant utilization versus sending it back.
Councilman Goodman.
I just want to say that I'm happy that we have the Spark grant, because I remember when you and I went to Michigan Municipal League in Muskegon years ago, and that was, I think, when the grant was first created. And I love to full circle that we're getting some of that money. So I'm just taking that time to say it, because it's, as elected official, interesting to see from year one of term one to year one of term two, and money that was talked about, that I was like, oh, I hope that we get that. We are now getting it. It is nice to see things come to fruition over the arc of time. So I just wanted to call attention to that.
Thank you, Councilman Goodman. Councilwoman James.
Excuse me. Yeah, I think one of the things that we had asked for was to see where the pickleball court is actually being located in the park, because the Sparks grant that Councilman Goodman talked about, that grant was applied for and granted on the basis of the design plan that was done by through grant monies that we received. But it did not, the design plan did not include a pickleball court. That was something that was added in by the previous administration. So my concern is to understand where it is located on the property, because I'm concerned that it would interfere with what's on that design. So does anyone have any idea where the pickleball court is actually physically going to be located? Because it shouldn't conflict with the design that was submitted to get the money from the Sparks grant. I hope that's clear. I hope it's,
Very clear.
It's very clear.
But and that's my concern. The budget is not a problem, but we've had some wide differences between the previous administration and this administration, and this is one of those things that kind of got away from us in the previous administration. But we need to get these things, to get the full understanding today or going forward, so that we actually know what we're doing.
Thank you. Yes, excellent questions. So I must confess that I am pitch hitting tonight for Director Birch and Parks Manager Poulin. They are both in Lansing for the Michigan Parks and Recreation Association Conference. I told them we should still bring this to you because of the nature of the grant and the timing. I wanted to give you that opportunity to render a verdict. My understanding is that it does not run contrary or conflict with the placement in the master plan that was submitted with the Spark grant, in part because the addition of that work and its location was run through the Council of Michigan Foundation CMF that is looking at it in comparison with the grant application that was submitted using that work design with that But I think that council and the administration would benefit from a holistic snapshot of where are we at with the moving parts, because we're taking the baton midstream. We need to know with detail and specificity the timeline. I want to be able to report to you and the community, when does the good stuff happen? When do we see, you know, the former building? When is that going to be cleared? They're finishing the remediation and the site preparation and removing of brush and trees that are close to the building. But I want for you and the community to know that, and also I want to have a really explicit understanding of that timeline. We need it, and this action will help us get closer to it, because they're going to have to give us some explicit timelines for the work to be done.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I did share that with our president, and he requested the drawings for the exact location for it, but I'm glad to hear that they have looked at that and have verified that it will not interfere with that design drawing.
That's what was reported, relayed to me, but I want to see it with my own eyes too, so
Right.
that way we can all be clear-eyed, because, as you well know, these park improvements are a fraction of the overall comprehensive improvements that Galloway Lake Park could benefit from and deserves. So we're going to, with all of our 31 parks, we're going to be sort of tackling this where we can, when we can, and when we can get funds. So just like with this and the next item that I'm excited to share with you about for Crystal Lake Park, it's a big improvement, but it is still just one leg of the journey, of a longer journey, and really it should be, for as long as Pontiac's around, a journey as we keep evolving and maintaining our parks.
Right.
Councilwoman Campbell?
Yeah, and so I just want to make a statement. That pickleball, so there was a base bid, and that pickleball was a alternate. And so in order for them to bid on the alternate, there has to be some type of drawings for them to look at to be able to submit their bid. So I'm going to assume that there is some drawings already done. They may have to revise them or whatever, but there should be something we should look at, because
Right.
that's part of the base bid. Wouldn't come after a base bid, and then we add an alternate. That doesn't work that way.
Thank you, Councilwoman Campbell. Councilwoman James, for those statements. Yes, the mayor is aware, sent that email over very late at night for the mayor, so I'm sure he has it on his radar, and we're collaborating to make sure we get the renderings for everyone to see. Any other discussion? Any other questions? Hearing none. Clerk Doyle on the roll call. The resolution, please.
Goodman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Austin,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Carrington.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Thank you, Clerk Doyle. That resolution passes. We'll now move on to item 8, resolution approving change order for Crystal Lake Park Pavilion installation by Michigan Playground DBA Mid-States Recreation, increasing from $125,831 to $134,172 due to equipment and material costs. Need a motion and a second.
I move.
Second?
That has been moved by Councilman Jackson, seconded by Councilwoman James. This particular item is pretty straightforward. It seems as though from the last time the order was put in, no work was done, and now the new order has increased by about $8,000 or so. So we'll turn it over to the mayor to give us more context on that item.
Thank you, Council. And for those that aren't familiar, Crystal Lake Park is located in District 1, also at large. And it is a beautiful lakeside park on the north shores of Crystal Lake. A question came up tonight, so I'll try and answer it as part of this presentation. But the part that the city owns is, I'll show you in the photos. Well, that's not the exact photo that will show you, but there's quite a few acres of open land and then the shoreline of Crystal Lake. So if you think of where the lakeside projects once stood, that side of the street where the housing project stood, that is not city property. And it is no longer Housing Commission property. They sold it some years to private owners or developers. So the city's park follows the shore, basically the whole peninsula's shore, a very narrow stretch to be sure, but then opens up on the west side of this peninsula, so to speak. And it's where Lake Street dead ends, and we're really excited. But to get you a little context on this actual item, June of last year, the city council voted, approved the resolution for this contractor, for this work, and for this quote. And it's from a cooperative contract, Sourcewell. So it's like a fixed price that anyone in Michigan that's a part of it, they can say, yep, I'm selecting that park equipment or this particular item. And so it was a quote from last spring that only is good for 60 days. So it already was kind of stale when it was brought to the previous council anyway. So it was a quote that it expires. So it was brought to city council, approved on that quotation price, but they did not act on it. They did not purchase it, although they had the authorization. The authorization in the contractor through this cooperative contract still stands, but that is a stale quote. So we've got a new, fresh quote that's good for a few months. You see that in your packet, and that's really essentially why the pricing difference. That, you know, the world kept moving on and prices kept fluctuating and going up. So it's the same park, it's the same equipment, a 36 feet by 24 feet pavilion, some grills, some benches, they're called picnic tables, that's the ticket, yes. So it has those different enhancements, and I want to show you really quick. I was there this morning just to see how progress is going. So work has already been done. This is a $500,000 grant that the city of Pontiac received from Oakland County. We're grateful to our county commissioner, Angela Powell, that secured it quite a few years ago. But we're getting it in time before it expires because it was ARPA funding that they got that then they gave us. So improvements have already been made. You could see the different walking paths, the new parking spaces, more gates and protection to try and cut down on adverse use of the land. So you could see some different barriers that have begun to go in, and you could see the water. You can actually see a lot of open space. Part of the grant funding allowed for clearing of vegetation. Just like with this park, but also that former Housing Commission property, the Lakeside property, a lot of vegetation overgrowth over 20 plus years. A lot of that has been tackled in the last year. So some of these photos, you could show the meandering walking path taking you right to the north shore of Crystal Lake and a lot more accessible for the community. And this shows you from where those benches were, like you're standing there and you're looking back out and up. And what you'll be seeing broadly is that pavilion up on the top of the ridge there, closer to the parking lot, but then looking out over this open space of the park and then looking out over the lake. I think it will be a beautiful amenity that the community is going to enjoy. So again, you could see sort of at that higher ridge, looking down closer towards the shore. So not exactly what you're voting on tonight, but I wanted to, for those that aren't familiar, see the improvements that are coming to Crystal Lake Park as a result of the grant, and that this allows sort of the final pieces of the puzzle. 500,000, it's a lot, but it only takes us so far, and this is some of the improvements that has gotten us so far, and what this approval update will allow us to finish.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilwoman Jones.
Okay, the last quote went stale, and now we will be moving on this.
Oh, yeah.
Could you speak to when? If approved.
Again, I'm pitch hitting for Director Birch and Parks Manager Poulin, so I don't have that committed to memory, but we're eager to find out, and we want to make sure that we're moving quickly because it's got to be done this construction season. It's got to be done these final months for their ARPA compliance as well.
So just one follow-up. This quote would be good through, what is this, March, May? Is this quote expiring in May?
Actually, I'm sorry I don't have the page in front of me, but I believe it's June 30th.
Okay.
It could be June 20th or June 30th.
Councilwoman James.
Yes. You had mentioned, Mayor McGinnis, that your administration planned to bring in some possibly project managers that can help, because we have a park manager, but she has a wide spectrum of responsibilities, and these projects are very complex. Somebody has to manage these projects. So I'm wondering, especially because this is an opera, it's, you know, opera dollars that are being spent, this work has to start on time, and this work has to, you know, somebody's got to execute it. So are we looking at possibly bringing in a project manager here to get this done?
Excellent feedback. So we have received some proposal I shouldn't say bids, but proposals from our standing existing contractors, the pre-approved contractors, for us to decide, is it better to do, sort of enlisted help or for us to hire directly in-house? We would not do a project manager just for this project solo. It would be sort of multiple park infrastructure initiatives. So that's what we're actively considering now. City Council had before it in December a DLZ contract for sort of parks project management, but the previous administration pulled that before it actually went to us because the former Parks and Recreation Director did that without consultation of the former mayor and deputy mayor. So they were kind of surprised by it. So they reeled that back in, but it was that same concept. So we have looked at what other firms would be able to do at a more competitive price point, but we're just assessing whether it's in-house or an enlisted contracted firm will make most sense, and it would be for this construction season. So we'll be bringing that to City Council, that sort of pro and con, the weighing of those options through the subcommittee, and then ultimately it would be a council decision.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilwoman Campbell.
Okay, I just have two questions. And looking at this, looks like they got into a contract in 2025. We do have an existing contract with them, right? From 2025 for this development.
It had City Council approval and authorization to execute. It does not appear that they ultimately executed this Sourcewell cooperative contract, meaning they had the pricing as of spring of last year. Council, spring of last year, authorized them to do it. They didn't execute it. If they had, it would have potentially locked us in at perhaps $8,000 to $9,000 less.
Oh, okay.
So we're really just updating the authorization for it to be what the current viable prices are.
Oh, so we're not under contract with them. Okay. That's all I was wanting to say, because if it was, then there was going to be.
Yeah.
We're fine. Thank you.
Question number 2.
No more questions. Thank you.
All right. All right, any other questions? Any other discussion? So just to reiterate the date, June 30th is the date that the new quote expires.
Well, so if we, with this council vote, the administration will work to execute the contract and the quote well in advance. So even if the installation happens, July or August, we're locking in the pricing before the quote expires. And if I'm really fast, I can try and tell you, but you should see in your packet with the materials provided.
Take a moment, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. Quote valid until, okay, so they're showing, I'm sorry, 4/30. I might have been thinking about the one from last year. Must have expired in June. This one is through April 30th of 2026. That is valid. So we will work to execute that in short order. So that way we get the better pricing. Otherwise, I have to come and embarrass myself to you and the community to say, I moved too slow and it's going to cost us $2,000 more or something.
So can we put a clause in there saying we're not going to have no material increase clause? And that, is it 90 days or 60 days that they are giving us the quote for?
They're saying valid until 4/30/2026. That's the pricing
That's only 30
viability
days.
until.
Today's
But again, by us executing, it locks us in that pricing. Doesn't mean that the pavilion's got to be up by then.
Just locks us in, it executes the price. It executes the amount. Okay. That directed at me, Councilwoman Campbell. You can say it. Speak it to the mic, though.
The mayor explained it to us. They'll be locked into it. So.
That's correct. You good?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Any other Councilman Jackson?
I, for one, am excited to see this come into fruition because I feel like there are a couple of generations now of people in Pontiac that haven't had an opportunity to utilize this space, and it's a privilege to be able to do so. So certainly looking forward to assisting and seeing this along, asking my colleagues to certainly support moving forward on this. I guess you may have mentioned it, but administration, Mr. Mayor, when is the anticipated, grand opening of the pavilion?
Great. It has not been set, so we'll work in concert with the City Council to determine what makes the most sense with the project timeline and Mother Nature and fun times to be had.
Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion or questions? All right, hearing none. Clerk Doyle on the roll call of the resolution, please.
Jackson,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Austin,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Carrington,
Yes.
Goodman.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
All right, that resolution passes. We are now moving on to item 9, Strategic Partnerships Department Resolution to request approval to execute the Memorandum of Understanding between the City of Pontiac and South Oakland Shelter, DBA Lighthouse, for the Auburn Place Apartments project located at 454 Auburn Avenue, funded by the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy, Eagle Brownfield Redevelopment Program.
So
Need a
moved.
motion?
Support. A second.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Jones. It's been seconded by Councilwoman Campbell. This particular item passed through grant, so it is $1 million, if I'm stating that correct, and it is extracting contaminated dirt from the land where the apartments are being built, and I will turn it over to Mayor McGinnis to add more to that context for that item.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so on the east side of Pontiac on Auburn Avenue, you've probably seen that building rise up. There was substantial redevelopment. It's over $30 million. And if I recall correctly, from the time it went before the previous city council, quite a few times, different actions and approvals. One of them is that a local contribution was needed for our municipality to support the project. And we were able to do that through grant funding that did not directly hit the taxpayers of Pontiac. It was through the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy, Eagle, with this Brownfield redevelopment grant. So it's $1 million to deal with the soil and the remediation necessary, because decades ago, those who are a little bit older than me may remember that on that site there was a dry cleaner. So across from the ice cream shop between Sanford and Francis, south side of Auburn, that's part of the reason why this was empty land for such a long time, because old school dry cleaning operations involve a lot of chemicals, a lot of toxic impacts that weren't remediated at the time and still remained with the soil. So for this housing redevelopment project to be viable, that was part of their cost, was for the removal of this impacted soil. That has successfully been able to happen, and the project is obviously, ground is broken, construction work proceeds, but as this is a pass-through grant, for us to be able to close out and pay out some of the management of that grant and that remediation work requires council authorization and approval, so that way we can do it in decent and working order. The previous city council did vote to accept the funds, accept the grant, different approvals. Director Campbell isn't available to join us this evening, and her department is handling it. And so, Manager Younger, was there anything further that I should expound upon?
Covered it.
Okay.
All right. Well, I might go first on this one. So, to your statement, Mr. Mayor, the land is extracted of any contaminated chemicals, what have you.
Yes, that's what staff has reported to me, and we'll work, and they have to verify that with the state of Michigan with their environmental testing, soil quality testing, so we can work to provide you and the community with any confirmation of that as well.
Thank you. You're reading my mind. All right. Any other questions or discussion on the item? All right. Hearing none. Clerk Doyle, on adoption of the resolution, please. Roll call.
James,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Austin,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Carrington,
Yes.
Goodman,
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Thank you, Clerk Doyle. That resolution passes. We will now move on to item 10, which is the resolution affirming safe access to sensitive community locations and calling for responsible conduct of ICE enforcement activities within the city of Pontiac. So,
moved.
Support.
all right. We have the resolution moved by Councilwoman Jones, supported by Councilman Goodman. This particular resolution, it lays out responsible conduct of ICE enforcement activities within the city of Pontiac, but it also goes on to list various locations and various safe spaces within the city of Pontiac. I will get into the resolution, but I'll first open it up to any discussion on the resolution. Councilman Goodman.
I just have some amendments in the therefore be resolved parts just to clean things up and not create any trouble for the city council that we've had to deal with before. So in number 3, under the therefore be it resolved part, I would like to change the word from city council directs to city council requests the administration. Because of the charter, we cannot direct the administration. And again, not saying we have to deal with that problem with this mayor, but it's just a way in which things go. So making that change to say from that point forward, the city council requests the city administration and where applicable, directs the city clerk to, and then have it continue as is for the rest of number 3. And then in number 6, change it again from directs to requests. And then in letter A, in number 6, change it to after publish in English, Spanish, and Hmong, and then continue as usual. So on the city's website and at city facilities in plain language, so on and so forth. So for the clerk's purposes, so you know exactly what I'm changing. In number 3, have it go from the city council requests the city administration and where applicable directs the city clerk to so on. And then in number 6, change directs to requests in that first line. And then in subsection A, publish in English, Spanish, and Hmong, and then continue as it was written before.
I hear you, brother. I'm trying to make sure I got both pages.
Oh, you're
the
fine.
resolution is printed on 2 pages. I'm making sure I got both to note your changes.
I
So
think
pretty much it's just...
You'll need the second page, I think.
Yep,
'cause-
pretty much where it says directs, you would like it to say request.
Yes, for
Okay.
the city administration, because we can't direct them, but because I had to check with Clerk Doyle, because the city clerk is directly under council, we can direct them to do things. And so that's why I worded it that way. That way, in the areas that the clerk has the ability to do things, he can just do them as we've requested, well, as we've directed him, and then having the administration pick up their part where they're able to. And in case you need to read.
Okay, and then
that
you
change.
said, okay.
Clerk,
Thank
do
you.
you need me to
So
bring
there's a
over?
motion on the floor.
I'm through the president. I got it.
So there's a motion on the floor.
Yeah, just need a second.
Yep.
Second.
All right, so we got a motion on the floor to make a few amendments to the resolution where it states directs in 3 and 6, which it's requesting to be changed to request. And in number 6, under A, it has been asked to list English, Spanish, and Hmong. It's been moved and it's been seconded. Clerk Doyle on the roll call. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, Clerk Doyle on the roll call for the amendment.
Austin,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Carrington,
Yes.
Goodman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Okay, so the amendment passes in 3 and 6 to remove direct and list request, and in 6A, English, Spanish, and Hmong. So before we move on to roll call of the resolution as amended, I will read the resolution. Bear with me. Pontiac City Council Resolution. Resolution affirming safe access to sensitive community locations and calling for responsible conduct of ICE enforcement activities within the city of Pontiac. Whereas Pontiac is a community rooted in dignity, safety, and mutual respect, and the Pontiac City Council is committed to ensuring that every resident, regardless of background, can access essential public spaces without fear or intimidation. And whereas churches, schools, daycares, city government facilities, and voting locations are critical to community well-being and democratic participation and must remain safe environments where individuals can worship, learn, seek services, and vote freely and without disruption. And whereas enforcement activities that create fear or confusion can undermine public safety by eroding trust, deterring parents from bringing children to school, discouraging individuals from attending religious services, and dissuading eligible residents from accessing government services or casting a ballot. And whereas the City Council has issued a public statement affirming that 1, churches are sacred spaces that must remain open, welcoming, and safe for all who seek spiritual support. 2, schools and daycares are centers of learning where children and families should feel protected and supported. And 3, city government facilities and voting sites are foundational to our democracy, and no resident should feel discouraged or threatened when exercising their right to vote or utilize public services. And whereas the City Council has a compelling interest in fostering trust, safeguarding civil rights, and ensuring that all residents, regardless of background, feel secure engaging in the civic life of Pontiac. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Pontiac. 1, affirming of principles. The City Council affirms that churches, schools, daycares, city government facilities, and voting locations are sensitive community spaces that require heightened care to avoid actions that could chill access, deter participation, or create an atmosphere of fear or intimidation. 2, expectation for responsible conduct. The City Council calls on all agencies operating within the City of Pontiac to respect these principles and to plan, conduct, and coordinate their activities in a manner that does not compromise the safety, stability, or civic participation of Pontiac residents. 3, city facilities and voting sites. The City Council requests the city administration and city clerk to A, ensure that city-operated facilities and polling locations remain open, welcoming, and accessible to all eligible residents. B, post clear multilingual signage at city facilities and polling locations describing the public's right, available services, and complaint reporting channels. And C, coordinate with the Oakland County elections officials as appropriate to protect voter access and to address any activity that may interfere with or deter voting. 4, schools and daycares. The City Council encourages coordination consistent with applicable law with local school districts and child care providers to share information on safety resources and reporting protocols for any activity that could disrupt educational environments or deter families from accessing schools or daycares. 5, faith and community partners. The City Council recognizes the essential role of faith communities and community-based organizations in supporting residents and encouraging proactive engagement to ensure congregants and community members feel safe accessing services and support. 6, public information and reporting. The City Council requests the city administration to publish on the city's website and at city facilities plain language information regarding residents' rights, city services, and how to report concerns about activities that may limit or deny access to sensitive locations, and publish in English, Spanish, and Hmong. Provide a quarterly briefing to the City Council for the next 12 months, summarizing community concerns reported to the city, steps taken to address them, and any recommendations for further action. 7, non-interference with lawful authority. Nothing in this resolution shall be construed to limit or conflict with federal, state, or local law, or to direct, prohibit, or impede any agencies from carrying out lawful duties. This resolution expresses the city's policy, priorities, expectations for coordination, and commitment to safeguard access to sensitive community locations. 8, distribution. The city clerk is requested to distribution. The city clerk is directed, no disrespect, to transmit a copy of this resolution to relevant federal, state, county, and local agencies operating within Pontiac, as well as to local schools, districts, major faith organizations, and community partners. 9, effective date. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon adoption. Thank you for bearing with me with reading that. So now, Clerk Doyle, Councilwoman Jones.
This might be a question or a statement. Okay, so ICE has violated what I would consider due process, fairness, et cetera. This resolution alone doesn't stop them from doing their activities. But I'm wondering, does this hold weight for the sheriff's department to not assist in those activities on these grounds listed? Or I guess I'm wondering where the teeth are in the resolution outside of the elephant in the room, the symbolic purpose of wanting and needing these spaces to be safe for our community members. I mean, we have individuals who are afraid to go grocery shopping, who are terrified of leaving their home because they don't know what might be on the other side of those doors when they do exit their home. A lot of people feel that their home is their only safe space. So I'm just wondering, where does this ordinance give us the teeth to enforce and be sure that these spaces are to remain?
So if you're directing that question or statement to me specifically, Director Cartwright is not in the room with us this evening, but I strongly believe that we're not in a position to enforce where ICE or any federal law agency conducts their business. What we're looking to identify here as a council for teeth, or lack of a better term, what we're looking to do is make it known that because there's fear, because there's rising concern, and people are now not coming outside, as of late taking meetings with the Oakland County Sheriff, they're not getting the calls that they need from certain communities because they're fearful that the Oakland County Sheriff is in concert with this other organization. And so what this particular resolution does is identify from the council to the community that, one, we don't agree with the activity that's taking place. 2, we solely are in lock arms with you being able to take part in going out to these different areas and not feeling like, well, when you come from dropping your kid off at daycare, the minute it's almost like it's it's a setup, so to speak, where you're taking your kid to a place for education or safety, and now you leave and you're being accosted or harassed or sometimes even worse. So this identifies what our stance are, where we want safe spaces to be in Pontiac, and in hopes that other organizations like the Oakland County Sheriff partner with us on this resolution. That community then begins to reach out to their law enforcement agency here in the city, which is the Oakland County Sheriff's, and now we can have a report from the administration of how many people are reporting these actions, how many people are now saying, hey, ICE violated us, they came into our church, they came into our daycare center, they were waiting out at the corner, in hopes that the Oakland County Sheriff acts on this resolution with us. Councilman Goodman.
So to answer my colleague's question, and no disrespect to Council President, because I did not write this, to your point, Councilman Jones, there is nothing, because it's a resolution, there is nothing in here that is teeth per se. I would say that there are a couple things that are in here that are somewhat, that are being able to have the clerk make sure that there's levels of information that's posted, and also around voting, the clerk kind of has supreme domain of the voting location. I would say, as it relates to schools and daycares, the school district would have to pass something that relates to ICE's use of their property and facilities. There are things that I plan on bringing to the next city council meeting in terms of things that we are able to do, in terms of actual like ordinances. One of them that's kind of like mentioned in here, but because it's not an ordinance, I don't know how well we can enforce it. But we have control over city-owned property. So while we can't say that ICE has no place in the city, what we could say, for example, is that they cannot use city-owned property as staging locations for ICE enforcement. So for example, they couldn't have all of their ICE vehicles sitting on a plot of city-owned property and then from there use that as their base of operations to then carry out an action. So those are things that we could do. And it's somewhat alluded to in this resolution, but those are things that as council we would have to put into ordinance for there to be any level of enforcement over the things that we do have control over. And again, I would say that those things mainly pertain to things that the city owns and property that we maintain. And again, there are some things I'll be bringing, sending to the council prior to the next meeting.
Thank you, Councilman Goodman. One moment, Councilwoman James. Councilman Jackson.
So my question is, of course, federal law supersedes any other law. We understand that. At the same time, to what extent do we have to cooperate? And so I guess this question is maybe for you, Council President, but also for the administration. What is the threshold in which Oakland County Sheriff's Department operates as its own entity, but has a contract with us, so we pay them for law services, right? And so I guess, to what extent can we request, I guess, right? We should be able to direct someone that we have a contract with. But let's just say the word is request for now. To what extent can we request that they adhere to what we're saying today in terms of assistance, right? Not impeding, but the amount in which, or to the extent in which they actually assist or participate with federal enforcement?
Sure. So I'll take the first bite at the apple on that question. Through my meetings with law enforcement, they've made it clear that they're not in partnership with ICE officers or ICE activity. And so they further went on to say that delicate, right? So forgive me, no offense to anyone making this statement. But what is troubling for the Oakland County Sheriff's deputies in some nature is when the variation is made that they are in partnership with this organization. And so it then hinders certain communities from reaching out to law enforcement when things are happening that are out of compliance with law or that are just violating their social, civic, and other rights. And so I don't want to speak for the agency, but I don't believe the organizations that I've been talking to in the Oakland County Sheriff have a problem with partnering with us on stances that we're taking against ICE in our community, particularly. But that would, we'd have to build on more conversation, and then we could either release a statement in coordination or even have them come to a council meeting and provide their stance. But from the conversations that I've had, they are in agreement to this particular stance. Councilman Carrington.
Yes, and I just want to follow with that. I'm glad you stated that because I just want to make sure that the statements of Oakland County Sheriffs helping ICE doesn't leave this room, because in our public safety meetings, these have been talks concerning that particular question. So the Sheriff Department have stated that they're not helping ICE. So I just want to make sure that we understand that. Now, if someone else has some details other than that, then we can look into it. But I haven't heard those details as well.
Thank you, President Pro Tem. Any follow-up, Councilman Jackson? Councilman Goodman.
Because this is a conversation that exists outside this room, to not bog things down, one of the things I would bring to Councilman Jackson's attention is the headache that we tried to go through when we approved the sheriff's contract last time. That's essentially what we were told, and now Mayor McGinnis could tell me that whether or not I'm wrong, that because of the way in which the Oakland County Sheriff has essentially the same contract that we have with other cities that also are in a similar situation, their commentary was, we're not giving different contracts to other cities. We're not making an exception for you in terms of how our control is in that contract. The other thing that I'll say, with all respect to my colleague and the statements from the Oakland County Sheriff's Department, there is a lot of conflicting information as to whether or not the Oakland County Sheriff's Department is participating in some form, officially or another, with ICE. Because on multiple occasions, members of the community who are going through ample amount of effort to verify, I'm not just talking about the random people who are posting on Facebook, at the suspiciousness of ICE showing up where the Sheriff's Department is also currently there or has just recently left. So I'm not going to say that they are helping ICE, but it seems rather suspicious to the people who have been tracking this work for now over a year. So to that point, again, I believe that there are things that we can do that is not interfering, but is solidifying the powers that we have via home rule and the fact that we are a city with control over our local property and the way in which we do business in most ways.
Councilwoman Jones.
Okay, question concerning number 8 in distribution, that the city clerk is directed to transmit a copy of this to the relevant agencies operating within Pontiac. I mean, we don't, in the school, we can, give this to school districts, faith organizations, that much is, more clear, but do we have, okay, let's rephrase this question, so excuse me. County entities relevant, we're talking about, for example, the Sheriff's Department, correct? We are talking what just the county exec office. I mean, before we say state, are we talking, we don't have examples of the entities here that will be receiving a copy of this resolution, and I'm not sure, is it for ongoing purposes, will this be at council's discretion to which entities receive this resolution, federal included, and are we worried about any clawback or retaliation from handing this over to federal agents that we disagree with what they are doing and we are putting it in writing that we are unhappy with it? Just curious.
Sure. So with the blanket federal, state, county, and local agencies, it doesn't limit us to who we can distribute this to make clear of our stance. The second question was, I can't rephrase exactly what the second question was, but because we are able to show our displeasure with the ICE enforcement through this resolution, because we are not, limiting their actions or limiting their enforcement. We're just showing displeasure of the spaces that we know have been breached and some of the stories, to Councilman Goodman's point, that we know of that citizens have went through. So we're not in lieu legally, it's already been vetted, but we're not in lieu legally of any repercussions, losing any ARPA funding or anything like that, because there are no stance that we're taking to restrict, limit, or stop enforcement. We are trying to make sure this is done responsibly, if any, but, and not anyone be hurt or impacted by ICE enforcement.
Okay, I guess I was mostly referring to, retaliation against the city financially, federally, given this and given the tone of that environment. Also was curious about, maybe that will rev up ICE activity in response to us saying we're not in favor of it. So I just thought I would throw that out there. Those are concerns. Of course, I supported and was very transparent about my views in the beginning, but those are my concerns with this.
No, thank you. Legal actually made the recommendations of, don't, because that I believe the last council may have ran into some things about possible pulling of funding because of different stance that was taken. So this doesn't interfere with anything like that.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions or discussion on the matter? All right, so hearing none, Clerk Doyle, we would take a vote, roll call, on the resolution as amended.
Jones,
Yes.
Austin,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Carrington,
Yes.
Goodman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
James.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Thank you, Clerk Doyle. That resolution passes. We are now moving on to discussion. Number 11, update on Carriage Circle Apartments. I will start off with that one. This is really just to, one, give a kudos to my colleagues. It was later in the evening when news broke of Carriage Circle being under evacuation due to a water line break. And I want to commend Deputy Mayor C, Mayor McGinnis. They began sending out texts, letting us know what was happening. I really want to give a big shout out to Councilwoman Regina Campbell, not only because it's her district, but Miss Regina actually pulled me out of the house. When I heard that Miss Regina was counting heads and just dove in head first, I'm like, I call my wife Babe, so Babe, I can't leave my councilwoman out there. And she's like, where are you going? I'm going to go help. I don't know what I can do, but I'm going to go help. And when I showed up, to her side was President Pro Tem Carrington. So I want to thank them for being out there. I want to thank all of the council people, because everybody showed concern and checked in and made sure that, if anybody needed anything, or they were ready to dive in as well. But I just want to thank them in particular. We were out there. Can't even tell you what time it was that we left, but we made sure that all residents were safely in a hotel and they had transportation. I want to thank Dustin McKellen and his church. They opened up for a warming center. I'm going to forget someone, is why you shouldn't get into calling names. The Pontiac Community Housing Organization, they made sure people had pizza. The Lighthouse made sure people had transportation. Big shout out to Director McIntyre. He was sleeves rolled up. When I hit the scene, I went over to the building because I'm like, all right, we better make sure everything is cool. And Director McIntyre was encountering some situations, and I helped my brother out, but he was holding it down for Pontiac and holding it down for the residents. And then to the residents themselves of Carriage Circle, everyone was polite, everyone was patient, even though they were going through extreme circumstances. So I really want to give a shout out to them because, you know, even though they were going through extreme circumstances, everyone was completely understanding. So big shout out to you all. Pontiac really showed up. Pontiac Housing Commission, want to thank their management team for being out there. There was just a bunch of people that all dove in. The fire department, the water company got involved, police. I know I'm forgetting somebody, so I'm going to turn it over to Councilwoman Campbell so she can give a report out.
Thank you. Thank you, President. So I want to say thank you. When that water main broke, it was truly a community effort, because when we had the essential workers there, we had the fire department, they had an abatement team already on site. They had already disconnected the electrical, the plumbing. The evacuation plan was executed. The Woodside Church opened their doors so that the residents can go in to stay warm. Lighthouse was on the line getting places for them, hotels for us to put them in. We took names, we lined them up, and it was executed. And Jack McIntyre was the first on the scene as well. And so I just really want to thank the community for coming out to support. As Council President mentioned, Dustin McCullum was there. Councilman William Carrington was there, and we did what we needed to do. And when as the last resident was leaving, they were so appreciative because we got them some housing or some hotels. We did give them, we were able to feed them. We had some snacks, we had some drinks. We were able to make sure they went back into the building to get their medications. We were able to make sure they went back in the building safely to get their pets. It was a truly community effort, and that is what community is about. And it was in District 6, Community Connect, in my district. And so I'm very proud of how we came out. I also want to say with that, we still need to address some things. So in my closing remarks, we'll have some additional information as it relates to, you know, how we move forward. But I do want to commend the community and everyone that played a part in that. And I'm so proud of the community because I mentioned everyone came out. You know, citizens were happy. That's my.
Thank you, Councilwoman Campbell. President Pro Tem, would you like to say anything?
Well, I was just going to say that you never can really be prepared for something like that happened on that particular day. I just want to thank everybody that came out to assist, as well as the city staff that went right into action to ensure that we get the residents moved to a safe spot temporarily, as well as looking for hotel space for them to stay in overnight. So again, it was a great community effort.
Thank you, brother. Anyone in discussion? Anyone want to say anything? All right. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I want to commend City Council that was very proactive on the scene. Thank you again to Deputy Mayor C. and Director McIntyre for being there on the scene and supporting. I just want to make sure the community knows Carriage Place Apartments is the formal name these days, but we all know it as Carriage Circle. It is jointly owned by the Housing Commission and Lighthouse, and then they have a property management company. I want to commend the joint owners and the property management team for making sure that it was swiftly addressed. The fix was quickly done. So the water main break was repaired, the heat was able to be restored, the electricity was able to be reestablished, and the building was able to be reoccupied that next day. Very impressive, and that took a lot of work from a lot of different people. So I want to commend everyone involved in that. The council members did a great job of name checking and identified all the different community partners that made it be what could have been really disastrous, really, really bad. I thank God that it happened when it did and not in the middle of the night. And I thank God that even though it was cold, it wasn't colds like we know it can get sometimes this season. Those are very, I'm just grateful for that, and thank you again to all of the residents and the community members that made what was an unpleasant situation, prevented it from being really a dire situation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Deputy Mayor, you good down there, brother?
Are we closing comments?
Nope.
Oh, no.
Councilman Jackson.
Jeez.
We needed that laugh.
Yeah. So let me start by commending everyone, because to your point, whoever was there, whoever participated, it was indeed a community effort to take care of the people, which is our job. And so certainly want to say thank you to everyone that was involved in that moment, because it showed how much we really care. So let me start there. I'll reserve a lot of what I have to say, but I will say there's a number of us that have probably more questions than answers when it comes to arrangements and or building maintenance. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because there's HUD housing in other parts of our city, including District 1. And so while it was a big crisis averted, still probably some things that we should make sure are done in advance of a major crisis happening in the future. And so while I still have concerns that I think we're going to get addressed, I just want to say thank you to everyone that participated in making sure everything was okay, at least for that night.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson. And the requests for those concerns have already been filed. So yes, brother, we will be getting answers on those requests. Any other comments? All right, hearing none. Mr. Mayor, you're up for closing comments.
Good evening. Thank you, Council. Thank you to the community. It is March, and hope springs eternal, even though we're not quite spring-like yet. I want to make sure I hit a few items. Black History Month has just concluded, and I want to commend our community partners and the Council. I think that this year Pontiac definitely did a very effective job of commemorating and celebrating Black history. Thank you again to the Pontiac Public Library for a beautiful program that was very successful, packed house this last weekend. And I just want to highlight that the Honorable Judge Brown, that was celebrated in the public comments earlier, I think the city has done an excellent job this Black History Month season, from the City Council joining the administration with presenting him with our inaugural award. And it also led to him getting a profile in the Detroit News. Just very cool that the work that we as a community can do to celebrate our living legends. So thank you to all the community members that help commemorate and celebrate Black History Month in ways large and small this last month. Last week, I joined our State Representative Brenda Carter for the State of the State address up in Lansing. Three main areas that Governor Whitmer, in her final year, she's in our 8th and final year as our state's governor, she highlighted and emphasized housing and housing growth, literacy, and I'm forgetting the third ones because I was really taken up by the first two and how important it is for Pontiac in particular, and we stand ready to partner with her in the different initiatives and funding that we hope can be facilitated by her pushing this policy growth. I think the third one was fixing the darn roads, doing more of that. To that note, I saw the pothole patching crew. They didn't know I was getting McDonald's this afternoon for lunch. Don't judge me, but I saw them on South Boulevard. Shout out to District 1, and I can confirm they were patching it down. They didn't just throw it and keep moving. I was the secret shopper for that. And so we are still in the cold patch season, but dozens and dozens of potholes being patched daily. So please, if you have a particular problem area, we know there are a ton of them, please submit them to the administration, to City Council, so we can get those progress rolling. You already heard some of the Desero construction report, but just a few more construction updates in the city. Lighthouse, they are doing their campus expansion at Woodward Cottage, et cetera. So some of their former rental properties for their building to expand in District 1, yes, sir. That was spotted and reported by Lighthouse, but also you could see the LaFontaine Classic Car Dealership and the old Marshall Music on Woodward Avenue going up. A lot of different construction happening, cranes in the sky. You see some of the different projects progress, and we'll keep amplifying them as they move on as well. So thank you for tag teaming Pastor Desereau on the Desereau construction report. Youth Recreation and Parks Recreation did a ton of work in the last few days. City Council leadership was there for the final session of the 3D printing class that's offered through our city's Youth Recreation. But we also had the start of the City League basketball. That was brought back, and that kicked off this last weekend. We had the Winter Jam at Murphy Park the previous weekend. And we also had the Daddy-Daughter Dance this last weekend at Lafayette Grand. So thank you to the community that was able to keep that tradition going, and thank you to our expanding and rebuilding youth recreation operations with our Parks and Recreation team. I was able to join former Vice President Harris late last week. She was in Michigan, and was able to have some remarks with her and let her know that Pontiac was thinking of her, and so that she doesn't forget about us. Very kind words that she had to say about the city of Pontiac, so she wanted me to relay a hello. So, hey, from Kamala Harris. We had OU Day at Pontiac Day at OU, and so in the basketball team, which they won, we were the good luck charm. At halftime, president of the university and I gave remarks. But also the Quest All-Star team was the halftime show, and they did a great job representing Pontiac. Pro Tem Carrington was there as part of the fun, and a great time. Pontiac showed up and showed out the weekend before last. Quick reminder that we have the State of the City address April 9th at the new Webster Community Center, District 2, West Side. So their grand opening for Webster is March 20th, but the State of the City, if you want to save the date, free and open to all residents. We intend on a first-come, first-served situation, except for council. We'll keep you reserved VIP seats, but just want to make sure that everyone's got that on their radar. A number of upcoming events in our community in the next few weeks, including, mark your calendars, March 28th is Spring Fest. Oakland County Sheriff and the City of Pontiac Youth Recreation are doing Spring Fest the last Saturday in March, doing that together at UWM Sports Complex. And then we have the Arts Crawl season, which will be every Friday in April and May, happening in downtown Pontiac. So, a few quick answers to questions that were brought up during public comment and other deliberations tonight. But before I forget, happy birthday to Council Pro Tem Carrington, Councilwoman Campbell, and Deputy Mayor C. We got 3 March Pisces in the House. We've moved on from the February cluster, and we're now in the March cluster. Happy birthday season to you 3. There was, in the previous meeting, a public comment about North Hill Farms, that residents' feedback and concerns were able to be captured by Deputy Mayor C. We'll work, and Councilman Goodman was able to interact with them as well. We'll work with Neighborhood Services to make sure that we get results and answers for him. The history posters, I can tell you there was a Chuck Johnson poster because I made it years ago, but one of your fans probably stole it last year, so we'll work with council leadership to make sure that it's rightfully restored for the future. But if a community member ever has a recommendation, just connect with City Council, and the biggest X factor, we need a photo. We need a photo. So if you've got a longtime community person that we can celebrate, as long as it ain't pixelated and crazy, we can work with it. All right, we answered some of the other questions. It was brought up about audio visuals during the meeting. You know, how do we do the recording, et cetera. City Council last meeting approved AV upgrades so that we can make other improvements and make so that way those watching and enjoying these public meetings can benefit from them more. We'll keep working to make that stronger, and I do want to apologize again that some of those ways that we normally watch the meetings weren't accessible tonight. It was recorded, it was broadcast, but there was a part that failed this afternoon. I want to thank Director Darby for pulling it off behind the scenes for tonight, so we still were able to get it out there, but we'll work to make it better for the future. Bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Deputy Mayor C.
Thank you so much, Honorable President. As always, I'm the cleanup person, so Ms. Wright, our Director of Video, is in the back, and he controls the whole video, so you've been on here all day, so all your fans got to see you. No, I'm just messing with you. But I just wanted to say that because he makes sure that everything on the board is visible. So he's our key person. He does a good job and works in the evening. March 5, Thursday, is the state of the county. Just wanted to mention that for council members if you wanted. I don't know if it's too late to do your RSVP, but if you wanted to attend this Thursday. Mayor, just like the city council in this grouping here, I got 3 March birthdays in my house. My oldest son's birthday is today, and my middle son's birthday is 2 days after mine. But the biggest thing that I would like to celebrate today, my favorite deputy mayor, Emmett Elliott, him and his wife is celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary today.
Oh, wow.
So, and with that, Honorable President, I guess I can go home.
Thank you, my brother. Clerk Doyle.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have a response to Pastor Kathy's comments during public comments about access to apartment buildings on Walton to do voter registration and education. The clerk's office continues to do voter outreach across the entire city. My staff and I are available to do voter registration, education, and participation. We have and continue to partner with senior buildings, community organizations, and nonprofits. We just simply need an invitation. If you would like for the clerk's office to come out, please contact us at 248-758-3200. It's 248-758-3200. I do want to mention, though, that it is illegal to put any flyers, handouts in mailboxes that have not been mailed with proper postage. You would be breaking the law if you do that. And with that, thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Doyle. Councilman Jackson.
All right, thank you, Chair. So I, too, had the opportunity to attend the State of the State this past week. Mayor and I had a chance to connect, so that was great. I wasn't as special as him, so I wasn't on the floor, but I was in the building, so it was all good. I believe that third point was around like healthcare debt and relieving that for citizens, residents. So that was that point. I do want to say that I am thankful. First of all, shout out to the library for putting on an awesome event this past weekend. Thank you for having our history in that space, what the library should be, and that's building around community. Thankful that Judge Brown trusted me to introduce him as he got ready to have a conversation. And I believe it's just important that generationally we don't forget, and because we haven't had the same challenges, and because we haven't had the same physical things happen to us that happened to our ancestors, we get comfortable sometimes. And so that conversation allowed for us to just record our history in a way that we can continue to share these stories. And the babies were in the building, and they shared their perspective on Black history. And so now, while we have 2 to 4 generations removed from what was Jim Crow law, we still had community coming together to have a conversation around why it's important that we talk about our history. So was excited about being a part of that, so thankful, of course. The other thing that I'll mention as the ex officio planning commissioner, the date for the planning commission is not tomorrow anymore. So if you were planning on being here for the planning commission meeting, it isn't happening tomorrow. It's been changed to the 25th and the 26th of March, where there's going to be some training done for planning commissioners. And then, from what I understand, we will presume April 1st with our next meeting on the books for the planning commission. And so just wanted to share that with my colleagues. Don't expect a report necessarily until next month from that perspective. And with that, bid you all a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson. Councilwoman Jones.
Okay. Thank you very much, Council President. I want to do a quick recap District 2 had our Collaborate and Elevate meeting this past weekend, and it was truly beautiful. We did a wonderful ode to Black History Month by hosting African dancers and drummers at the end of the meeting, who then brought audience members, including children who were present, up to the stage and taught them an African dance. And I joined too, so it wasn't just the children, but we had a great time. It was really beautiful, and I don't know any other way to put it. And anyone who was there could tell you, and I'm very proud of how that turned out. Now that we are in March, I'm going to move forward to talk about what's to come on the west side. We have a lot of reasons to think green this month. And one of those reasons will be coming to the District 2 March Collaborate and Elevate meeting, which will meet March 26th. That is a Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. at 377 Center, located at 377 South Telegraph Road, just north of Riverbank Drive. And this meeting theme is Think Green, because we're going to be focusing on green infrastructure, green spaces, and preparing and getting ourselves excited and ready to go forward with beautification season, because it is just right around the corner. So, as always, when you come to the Collaborate and Elevate meeting, there's always a treat of some kind, whether that is tangible or not. So I encourage you to come out, because we are going to have a great time this March. Couple of other points. The District 2 newsletter, Collaborate and Elevate newsletter, did go out via email. That is distributed by email to avoid printing costs, to avoid rising postage costs as well. So those who received it, thank you for your feedback. I really appreciate that. If you did not receive it, all you need to do is give me your email address, and you will receive the newsletters going forward. Plan to do them monthly. Marches will come out soon, which will also include more dates to come. So I mentioned the March meeting for Arts Crawl, April 17th and May 15th. Stay tuned, because District 2 will be partnering with the Arts Crawl and with E-Community Outreach Services in District 1. See, I'm not afraid to say it. So that's going to be a great time. We'll have an event geared for the adults and an event geared for the teens and other youth populations. So stay tuned for that information. And I want to throw out there, quick save the dates as well. June 18th, 6 to 8 p.m., that's a Thursday, and July 18th, 1 to 3 p.m. The Collaborate and Elevate meeting will be held at the brand new Webster Community Center. I'm excited to share more about that, excited to show that space off. Definitely excited for the ribbon cutting coming up on March 20th, so please save that date as well. And with that, I'm done.
Thank you, Councilwoman Jones. You don't have to wrap up, but are you finished?
I am.
Okay, all right, cool. Councilman Goodman.
I have very few things to say. The district meeting for District 3 will be the last Monday of every month, which includes the last Monday of this month, at the Baldwin Center, 212 Baldwin Avenue. I'll have more details at the next meeting, so it'll be closer to then. And also, it is getting warmer outside. It may not feel like it, as Michigan weather is extremely bipolar. And so while it is 39 something today, it'll be, I think, 46 tomorrow and raining, and it'll probably drop back down to 20 before the week is out. Well, look, you're giving me hope, Miss Wright. But with that, as you know, it's getting warmer outside, potholes are opening up, car problems are happening, and that's almost time for my favorite time of the year, the next pullover prevention clinic. Now, I'm not telling you when the date is, because it's not solidified yet, but it is in the works. So please keep your eyes and ears out, because as you know, this is a very helpful event for many people in the city and really all over Southeast Michigan. So keep your eyes and ears to the ground over the next month or two. And for the benefit of District 3, this is actually a thing that's very helpful. I live on Kennett. There's a bunch of potholes. I see them every single day, but I don't see all the potholes on every street throughout District 3. So if you're driving through District 3 or you're at home and there's a pothole that's sitting directly in front of your house, please email me or send it over to the deputy mayor. That way we can work on it, start getting them filled, because no one wants to keep hitting potholes. And it helps you by helping me if you tell me if you see a pothole. So I deeply appreciate that because I would just like to get it all taken care of. I think that's it.
Thank you, Councilman Goodman. Councilwoman Campbell.
All right, so.
Mike, please.
I have 3 announcements. Number 1, March is Women's History Month, and so I like to put an invitation for anyone that knows of some young women that we need to celebrate. Please feel free to give all women, but I really want to concentrate on some of the next generation young women that are coming up that have been under the tutelage of the people that have already taught them. Now they're coming through as trailblazers. So you can feel free to contact me at 248-758-3019. That is my direct number. If you can just leave me a detailed message, and then I'll certainly follow up. Number 2, we have my district meeting, which is going to be on March 9th at the Salvation Army from 6 to 8. I invite everyone to come out to voice their concerns and so that we can work on addressing them. I want to address, Ms. Clark had a concern or issue about the beautification of our community. Last month, or in February the 17th, we did do a resolution for the Community Development Block Grant, Facade Grant that Main Street is going to be administering. So that is going to give an opportunity in those corridors if people apply to, to show off our community. So that's one thing. We'll make certain that we keep you informed on that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was that I have my facilities and property meeting that's also on March the 9th from 1 to 2. So please come out. The plan is to talk about the youth center. So with that being said, everyone have a wonderful evening and be safe.
Thank you, Councilwoman Campbell. Councilwoman James.
Okay, thank you very much. I've got a couple of announcements that I need to make. I hope I can get them all in the 3 minutes that I have. But first of all, I want to congratulate our newly elected District 4 Community Council officers. District 4 this is the first time that we have elected officers for our district. We're growing and everyone is really excited about getting things done. Our new president is Mr. Frederick Miller. Our vice president is Ms. Kelly Kendrick Miller. Our second vice president, Community Engagement, is Pastor Kathy Devereaux. And our executive secretary is Ms. Sedalia Montgomery. So I want to congratulate them for being elected to these offices, and I'm looking forward to working with them and making some great things happen in District 4. They've hit the ground running, and they planned a leadership meeting to discuss the priorities of District 4 for this coming year. Our March District 4 Community Council meeting is March the 26th at 6 p.m. As you know, they're held at the Newmont Moriah International Church at 300 West Walton in the city of Pontiac. Also, I am a member representing City Council for the GERDS Board, and just wanted to say that the old GERDS is now fully expended, and there are no longer meetings for the old GERDS, so now the only group that meets is the GERDS Board itself. Those meetings are going very well. There's not much to report other than John White and James Walker were reappointed as GERDS members at the February 17th board City Council meeting. At the last meeting, staff is continuing to receive a lot of kudos because of the excellent way that they rolled out those payments. The retirees were very happy about how that was all, how that took place, and just the respectful way that they handle and work with retirees during that time. So they've been getting a lot of kudos for their staff. I just want to say that it's a great organization, it's a great team over there, and I look forward to representing City Council on that board. Finally, I want to answer the question that came from the audience in regards to bathrooms, unisex bathrooms in our parks. First of all, I'm not over the parks. I do chair the Parks, Recreation and Public Works Subcommittee, but I don't personally have the responsibility, to make the right to make those choices. Those choices are made primarily through the administration, through discussions with engineering and the park staff. Now, I have my own opinion. I contribute to it, but I don't exclusively make those decisions. That was discussed in our meetings, and it was determined that that was the best way to do that because, the alternative is to try to have a male bathroom and a female. And the comments that were made, I mean, this happens every day. If you go to if you have any children or grandchildren in elementary or preschool, they have bathrooms in their classrooms because often they can't make it to down the hall. And these are single bathrooms. The boys and the girls use that one bathroom. So it really is not such an unusual thing that you have a single bathroom that both boys and girls and men and women are using. It's happening every day, and it's working well. So, I mean, I know that we all have our opinions, and she has every right to hers, but it is a viable way of handling a situation. Right now, there's no bathrooms in that park, and the administration would like to put one there because they would like to be able to have summer programs in that park, so that the kids can benefit from it. And this is one way that we can do it. So I don't know what else to say. It's a matter of opinion, but it is a viable solution. It does not put those children at any more risk than they would in any other situation. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilwoman James. President Pro Tem.
Yes, thank you, President Austin. Just like to thank everyone that's still here tonight, that came out to support us. We're definitely trying to do better on time. So it's a work in progress every meeting. So we're definitely trying to get down under 9 o'clock. Also, I thank everybody for coming out. Our last community meeting of District 5, it was a great turnout. Again, thank everyone that's taking the time out to come to those meetings. Our next meeting is April the 23rd at Ruth Peterson Center. One of the questions that was asked from that meeting concerning the Emerson School project, which the school has definitely been towed down, but that's going to be a housing development specifically for seniors. So I just want to let the community know that housing development is for seniors. And they actually, they bring in their first proposal to the Planning Commission coming up shortly. So I just want to let the community know about that. Again, good night, and thank you.
Thank you, President Pro Tem. I will start with my closing comments by saying I think we are doing great as far as time goes with meetings. We will continue to do better as the year goes along. But the 100-man breakfast will be April 3rd, Friday, April 3rd. That's Good Friday. It's the 100-man breakfast being hosted by myself, President at Large Adrian Austin. You can now RSVP by going on Eventbrite. You can also email City Council staff. Our Chief of Staff is Jay Ayers at pontiac.mi.us. Our Executive Assistant, Angelita Santiago, Santiago at pontiac.mi.us. And James McQueen, our Community Liaison. His email is jmcqueen at pontiac.mi.us. But you can also RSVP by going on Eventbrite. I want to give a big shout out to the Williams for their 3D courses graduation, partnering with the Pontiac Youth Rec Department. That was an absolutely great graduation that myself, Mayor McGinnis, President Pro Tem, and Councilwoman Campbell were able to attend. A lot of youth there in the building doing 3D printing, so they got a bright future in that. I want to also give a big shout out to Mr. Carlton Jones and Pontiac Access for All. Got to attend their graduation of pre-apprentees who has a bright future and looking for placement into an apprenticeship program. Believe we're going to get some help with that. Big shout out to Councilwoman Campbell. We've been running all over the city the last week or so, but thank you for attending that. I want to give the Miss Rosalind Northcross a big shout out. March is Reading Month. Yesterday, I got to attend Harrington Elementary. Classroom full of kindergartners read to me. I did not want to leave them. I promise you I didn't, but I had to go and got to listen to about 15, 20 kids read with the literacy issues that we're having in Pontiac. I was happy to do that and encourage the young folk to continue to read. And want to give a big shout out to my wife. March is Women's Month, and so just want to thank her for all she does. Mother, minister, wife, corporate compliance officer. Know that in this role, I've probably been a little uneasy to deal with. So shout out to you, Miss Austin. Want to give a big shout out to Youth Recreation. The daddy-daughter dance was absolutely beautiful. The fathers and the daughters looked it great. The venue looked it great. So thank Pontiac Youth Rec for making that go off without a hitch. As far as Black History Month, the City Council is in charge of that. So anyone who was slighted this Black History Month, I do apologize. Next year, we will be more efficient in how we do our Black History honors. So to Mayor McGinnis's point, make sure that any residents who want to be honored from any of the neighboring districts, contact your council person. Make sure you have a picture and, you know, a little something about yourself. We'll get a poster made, make sure it gets hung up. I don't know all of the great history that came before me in my young 40 years, so forgive me for that. And then the last thing that I want to address. I want to read this. It's from our home rule charter, but there has been a lot of commentary around conflict of interest. And so I just want to make it clear as to what our charter says in regards to conflict of interest, except as otherwise required by law and subject to limitations of the MLC. So, 1, an elected officer, appointee, or employee who has a conflict between personal interest and the public interest as defined by law, the charter or ordinance shall disclose fully to the city attorney the nature of the conflict, who shall provide the mayor, city council, and the Office of Public Integrity with summary of stated conflict, except as provided by law or ordinance. No elected officer, appointee, or employee of the city may participate in or act upon or vote upon any matter if a conflict of interest exists. I'm the council president. I have received some conflict of interest disclosures, so most people who think that applies to them, they've been compliant in that nature. Number 2, any elected officer, appointee, or employee who has a 1% financial interest, direct or indirect, in any contract with the city or in the sale of any land, materials, supplies, or services to the city or to a contractor supplying the city shall make known the interest to the city attorney, the nature of the conflict, who shall provide the mayor, city council, and Office of Public Integrity with a summary of the stated conflict. Such elected officer, appointee, or employee shall refrain from voting upon or otherwise participating as an elected officer, appointee, or employee in the making or performance of the contract or sale. So just to give a little context on that, it does not say that if you have a vendor contract or a contract with the city that you cannot be on a board or a commission or be appointed to something. What it's saying is that you have to disclose it. So you have to say, I'm making $70,000 a year with this contract, send it over to the attorney vets all of the information, then sends it to city council, mayor, and public integrity officer. Third piece that I just want to touch on real quick, Any elected officer, any elective city officer or an appointee who is a relative of an applicant for employment by the city, being the individual's parent, grandparent, child, grandchild, sibling, or spouse thereof, shall be immediately disqualified from and shall not participate in any way in the hiring process. So I'm reading all of the conflict of information to say, as it relates to a board and a commission, no one gets paid to volunteer or be appointed to those particular boards or commissions. All that you're doing is serving the great citizens of your community with your time. And I feel strongly in residents who show interest to be on a board or a commission, which we ask repeatedly, and I have the applications to show. Those are, at least from an at-large standpoint, those are the citizens that I like to ask or, push for the mayor to appoint onto those different boards or commissions. As it relates to my picks, I only pick the citizens who serve this community with all their heart and their time. And with that, I will say good night, God bless. I will take a motion for adjournment.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Jones. It's a tie between Goodman and Carrington. Clerk Doyle on a roll call for adjournment.
Austin,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Carrington,
Yes.
Goodman,
Yes.
Jackson, James,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Thank you. Meeting is adjourned, 9:33 p.m.